Okay.
Thanks for being a part of this podcast.
Yeah.
You're so welcome.
Welcome, Elijah, to the Friends of 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 Friends podcast. We're joined today with Patrick. Patrick, is that your Patrick? Is that your real name?
It is my real name, yeah. I'm not like a Michael Patrick or,
Your God-given name?
It is, yeah. I had 4 of them, or 3 total.
3 God-given names?
2 middle names, yeah.
For each god, or?
No, just had an Irish great-grandfather, and it was, they just wanted to kind of give me the whole thing, so it's a mouthful.
Patrick Gold.
Patrick Joseph Toohey Gold. Yeah.
I always thought the gold was Jewish. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It is Jewish.
Yeah, it is.
Irish
It
Jewish.
was shortened for from Goldenberg.
But also pot of gold.
Yeah.
Right? That could be.
Just a pot of gold.
Yeah. A wee bit of pot of gold.
Yeah. No, that's
cool.
me.
Nice. I feel like I'm sweating. I am.
You are. Question. What's the battery life on that tablet tonight?
Oh, it's 100%.
100%.
It's actually at 98% right now, guys.
Okay. I thought you said 90. I was doing some quick math. Like, oh God.
It's going to happen again.
So, yeah. It was fun fact. We did this as I was setting this up for the Armand podcast. And Patrick was just like, sitting here with the headphones. And I was like, I think he wants to do a podcast tonight. So I kind of just quickly set everything up. Totally forgot I was not charging anything previous to this. And yeah, we kind of ran with a hour-long podcast that didn't get saved.
Nope. It's funny. It didn't save anything.
Yeah.
I was really romanticizing. I was thinking, wow, that's kind of cool. We're actually doing this. I was just kind of enjoying hanging out,
But you know what's the beauty of it? It's just saved in the podcast hard drives of our brain.
Well, hopefully we get this one.
It was a special moment just between us two.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we could talk about what we said that day, but like a normal conversation.
Yeah. We'll go right through the list and just act like it's the first time we've talked about anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Speaking of lists. No.
Don't want to know where that's going.
Oh, man. Yesterday was a funny topic. Bucket lists.
Bucket list.
Bucket lists.
You've been thinking about the bucket list.
I was like, dang. They had movies about that called, I think, The Bucket List.
The Bucket List, yeah. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
What was it? Morgan Freeman? Was he in there? Or was it like... I forget who it was, but it was a bunch of old people.
Yeah. What's on your bucket list? Because I don't think we talked about that yesterday.
Oh, jeez. I think that, to be honest, I haven't thought of a bucket list since my kids were born.
Yeah.
It kind of like goes out the winndo as soon as you have kids. You're just like, fuck my list,
Focused on their needs. And
it's all about the kids at some point. But I'm pretty sure like skydiving is always one of those.
Really?
Bucket lists.
But you did that for your dad, didn't you? Or
oh, yeah.
Am I right on that?
I did it for my dad.
Yeah.
It wasn't...
I'm surprised you didn't
like,
do it together.
yeah. I was like, I think it'd be funny if we give our parents this Groupon to go skydiving.
Mm-hmm.
And they did.
Yeah.
They did it.
Wait, both parents?
Yeah. My mom and dad.
Oh, shit. That's awesome. Did they get a video of that?
Oh, there's a video.
Oh, man. That's cool.
Somewhere in the cloud as they were.
Where was it? It was in Southern California,
I think
right?
that,
Long Beach area? Or?
I don't know if they went all the way down to San Diego for it.
San Diego.
But yeah, it was a pretty good deal, and it was skydiving for 2. And then one year my mom's like, I'm gonna get the same gift for you. And I'm like, please don't.
You didn't want to do it,
She's
huh?
like, why?
Wow, you won't do it, but your parents did it.
Yeah, she's like, I thought you already went. I'm like, then why would you get it for me again? She goes, I was like, don't do it. I don't have time to fall from the sky.
You don't have. Would you have time like now if you wanted to do it at all? Or I mean, because you're not as busy as maybe you were in the past.
I'm not the most adventurous person in terms of risking my life.
Okay.
I like life.
Yeah. What about your biking escapades? I mean, you had some kind of dicey, dangerous stuff racing then, right?
Yeah. Honestly, I think part of biking for me was like, it was fun because it was 1, calorie burner, exercise, 2, cheap as fuck. Because back in the day, before like the good job and all, I couldn't afford gas. I had an SUV, and it was like, I think for the miles that 2002 Toyota Highlander was sitting pretty.
Is that what you had, a Highlander?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a Honda.
No.
It was a Highlander. Was it pewter?
The first car was a Honda 91.
Okay.
And then when it was time to passing of the cars, my brother, TJ, what's up, Delphine, shout out Leland. Yeah, it was his car. Mm-hmm. Well, first it was my mom's car. Then it was his car. Then he decided to get in a couple of accidents with it, of course. And then I was driving the Honda at the time, and then it was handed down to me, just because that's the way things go.
Right.
And then he got the Scion XB.
Oh, you got the hot new car, and you got the Highlander. Didn't somebody sideswipe you on that, or thread the needle in front of you?
Which one? Which one?
I thought it was either the Highlander or the Honda. Like somebody actually just came up really fast on the right or something and swiped in front of you or hit you.
Oh yeah. They did they tried to thread a needle, and they hit the wheel of my car.
Yeah.
Which luckily didn't actually affect it at all.
What?
Yeah, but the guy from Geico was such a cool dude because he saw my bike and he's like, "Oh, you ride?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, what about you?" He goes, "Fucking love it." I'm like, "Yeah, I just drive this thing to work." And goes, "Yeah, man. Well, let's look at your car." He looks at it. He sees some tire marks on the tire, and he goes, "Oh, it looks like you hit your tire. That means you could be messing up your axle, and you might need a fix there. That's gonna cost a lot." He winks, and I'm like, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Cool." So actually, I got free $2,000.
Really?
I didn't fix my car or nothing.
Well, you lucked out. It could have been just that much if you took it to repair. They probably just wanted to settle it fast.
I didn't even repair it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, they were just like, "Here's the money." I was like, "Have a good one."
And where did the money go?
Oh, to cycling.
Did it? Did you get another bike or just bike
I
sort
think
of
so.
stuff? Yeah.
I think so.
Well, you had a crazy story about being on a bike the other day where you were racing, right?
Oh, no. I wasn't even racing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no. I was racing. I have been in some sketchy shit because of, doing bicycle races, but this was just a commute. This was just a normal I'm riding
head
home.
down.
I was head down.
Well, you said you looked up and it was like, whoa.
No, head on a swivel always, but it's a stop sign. You see the green line. You're like, all right, cool. Time to go. And as soon as I start pedaling, you start kind of getting into the groove of a stand pedal.
Sure.
And yeah, maybe you look down for a second, but
you're hoofing because you got to get your cadence up, right?
Yeah. Single speed, 48-16 gear ratios versus my cycling.
Man, I don't know nothing about that.
Oh man, it's the fucking purest way of fucking moving. Anyway, so stupid.
That's been said before, haven't it?
Right,
Yeah.
probably. So yeah, I was biking, and then out of nowhere, this car from the corner of my eye is making a left turn. Totally didn't see me. I have a red bike. I wear colorful I have a big chrome bag. I look like a freaking idiot. You should be able to see me.
You have a red bike, chrome bag. Yeah, sure.
He freaking, all I see is this car door. And I'm like, why am I looking at a car door?
Yeah.
It was so sudden. You couldn't maneuver this. You couldn't go right or left. It was just a car right in front of you.
Yeah.
And he went so fast that I just remember a snapshot image of the guy. I remember seeing the guy. And he didn't even look at me.
Didn't even see you.
He was just fucking focused on whatever he was doing.
Tunnel vision.
Yeah. So I just remember my front wheel almost hitting the side of his van. And I was going fast. I just got done pedaling really hard on a 48-16 gear ratio. And my life flashed pretty much before my eyes, except I was so busy in fear that I saw nothing except what I felt was my heart pumping out of my chest.
Did you pull over the side of the road and just kind of?
Oh yeah, I couldn't
sit down by your bike and go.
I couldn't even sit down.
Couldn't even. Yeah.
It was too much adrenaline. All at once.
Yeah, I bet. Chest pounding, hands kind of oh Jesus,
Yeah, I was just I part of me is this could be the universe just vibrating through okay, this guy almost died. We almost had to send his consciousness into the next, I don't know. I believe in a weird thing like that. What happens to you when you die? This is not the only version of me. Probably there's probably another version.
So you think there might be some sort of multiple versions of?
Oh yeah, there's a version of me that died that day.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I wonder about that too.
Yeah.
Sometimes do you wonder if you are you've already passed away and you're just the next version or something?
Totally. Yeah. You ever seen the one Jet Li?
No.
I would love to be Jet Li.
Really?
The one.
Oh. Well,
you've never seen it?
One night. No.
Holy shit!
Should we add it to the list? Is it good enough to watch, or is this just the concept?
I'm going to give you the log line.
Okay.
In a world, Jet Li is the one. No, he just goes around killing versions of himself.
Oh.
Because what happens after versions of yourself die, the aura or energy gets passed through like the remaining versions of yourself. So he just finds a way to like travel through multiverses, killing himself.
How old is this?
He can fucking eat it all. I want to say early 2000s, like
okay,
after Romeo Must Die for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
So this because part of it sounds like low key, pruning the timeline, although not exactly. You're killing different versions of yourself.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Wow. So maybe we'll have to watch it one night.
Have you seen any Jet Li movies?
No, I don't think so. I left off with Jackie Chan. So Bruce Lee, then Jackie Chan, and then
Juice. I thought you were gonna say Juice Lee. That's a great gamer tag. If I'm like gonna do something like I'm fucking Juice Lee.
I know.
Which now I just put Bruce Lee's head on top of like a bodybuilder.
Yeah,
and it doesn't work. Like, ugh.
Well, Bruce Lee was kind of a bodybuilder, right?
No, he was very like plyometrics and like.
But you've seen where he's like flexing and it's like all
that's like body weight stuff.
Oh, okay. When we're not, when you say bodybuilder, you're thinking like Arnold,
like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Anytime you say Arnold, you have to do it. Yeah. What about you? Any near-death experiences?
Yeah, plenty.
Yeah. Care to share?
Car to share. Speaking about cars that like zoom by an intersection. So one time I was driving home from, I think, a dealership. I was going to help my mom find like a Toyota, like a new Camry or something, because she commutes to work. And I was driving an old like 92 Nissan 240SX. It was a little fastback. She was really quick.
Isn't there one out there?
Yeah, there is actually.
Sweet.
Rico's got one. Yeah. It's kind of, I don't think it's passing the smog, so it's just been hanging out there for all year. But no, they're kind of neat. But I had a little Japanese engine swap and made more power, and it was a quick car. So for some reason, that one was also kind of a crappy little track style car. But I was driving my mom in it, and we were coming up to a stoplight. It's green, it turns yellow, and it's not like me to necessarily stop willingly for a yellow light. That means just speed up right and get through. Yeah,
unwritten rule, just like get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, just as quick as you can get across the line. It's still yellow. But for some reason, I don't know what state my head was in. I was thinking, well, I don't know, let's just stop for the damn thing, So I stopped like early. Not that I stopped early, it was way too early. But I came to a stop. But the guy next to me in the right lane was, I don't know, just some sort of sedan. He went to push it and like kind of get through in that yellow. And so I come to a stop and I look at him and I'm not looking any direction except all I see is straight ahead of me. A car ran through the red light and just came and hit the back quarter and pushed him all the way across the intersection. And I timed it. I was like, by that point I was well aware. I thought that would have been right into my door because that was, I saw the gap that we had.
He was on your left side.
He was on my right side. And so the gap coming up to the yellow light, I was a little bit ahead of him, just like a car length. But I stopped and he went forward and he got jammed.
Did he die?
No, I don't think it was that bad. I didn't stop, but I looked over and thought like, shit, that was me right there. And my mom's like,
yeah,
how did you know to stop? And I'm like, I don't know. I was just thought I'd stop early.
Just a little bit up.
Yeah. Now it screws me up because sometimes I stop way too early again, thinking it could happen again. Yeah, but
that's scary shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never trust. Fuck. I mean, there's nothing you can do when somebody runs a stale red light.
I mean, it was the same thing kind of as what happened to you, except you were on a bike and you wouldn't have made it. Right? I mean,
if it was a sedan that hit him?
No, I mean, just you were on a bike, and like, yeah.
If it was a truck, I'd be for sure gone. Maybe it's a low enough car. I'd just like ramp up the car and just
do a lot can happen at slow speeds.
Do a couple of, huh?
A lot can happen at slow speeds,
What about fast speeds? You ever see that? Speaking of like accidents and things going at fast speeds, that Russian guy. I don't know if he's a stunt actor, but he just sets up these it's like a Russian jackass. Like none of them really make sense.
Like parkour stuff?
No, not even. Like he'll just be on a ladder, fixed upon another ladder, and like a tube, and he'll just like push up from it, be suspended in space for a second, and then there's a car that zooms by with like a freaking cylinder.
Oh.
And he goes through that cylinder.
Oh, that's just nuts. Yeah.
It's just like, could have just fucking died right
Stuff
there.
like that used to fascinate me. Now when I see it, I think like, oh my God.
It's pretty idiotic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. When did you become worried about your life?
Worried about my life?
Like when you were like, I'm no longer young, I could die.
I know my parents became worried about it as soon as I could drive, because ever since I was a kid, I loved little fast cars. Really? Well, 13, 14, 15. Before that, it was airplanes.
before that was airplanes?
Yeah, I was in airplanes as a kid. I had
really?
B-17s and B-50, B-17 models. I had P-51 Mustangs.
Same.
That was the first thing I built as from like a Christmas gift. It was the biggest glob of like glue and plastic because I just completely built this thing. I just wanted to see the finished product,
Yeah.
An instant gratification as a
That's
kid.
right. I actually did my first model with my dad.
Did you really?
Because my dad used to do models.
Yeah, he did RC
And I'd be like,
airplanes.
I want to do it.
Now, did you did you have an airbrush? Did you paint it and stuff?
No,
or spray
he didn't
can
really
it, or-
care about that part.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What plane? What model?
Actually,
was it?
no. He'd always use the rattle can.
Yeah.
Like, I just remember going to Michael's and it would be like, behind cages, and we're like, "What's the deal?" Apparently, graffiti. Like I was a kid, I didn't know about graffiti.
Well, yeah. Well,
I
in this section, they had all the little testers and they had the special little paints for camo greens and car reds.
Yeah.
And what was
I just remember like a white can with lettering and then like whatever color it was as the top.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was like a little black top or something. With
I think
white.
my first model was a P-51 Mustang.
Bam, you and me
Right.
both.
And then it was the P-38.
Yeah,
Lightning.
Yeah,
And then we did a B-17.
cool.
And then I was like, I'm done. These are my favorite planes. Just
Yeah.
don't touch me.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I didn't have any more planes. I was like,
Your hangar was
think we're
full at that
done.
point. You didn't have any more room.
yeah. And then I think what's trippy is that Mio actually started playing with one. And I was like, hey, you're letting him play with the planes? Like, I remember I used to want to play with the planes. And my dad's like, no, you can't play with it. Because he spent so much time making it. But
Softened up a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. A couple of like, 20, 30 years later.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, let him play with it. Who cares? It's old anyway.
That's cool that you
Like,
still
it's
have them,
called
though.
vintage, but okay.
Yeah. I never made my B-17. I'll have to maybe one day when I have extra time
really?
make one. Oh,
Did you
yeah.
also draw airplanes?
I did.
Oh, man.
Drew
What was the
airplanes and cars.
fascination? I was insane. Yeah, we were crazy kids. So, like, they'd let us draw on the board, I don't know, first grade, second grade. Like, you can draw anything you want. I'm like, fucking the B-17 nose with the glass. And then, the turret gunner.
Yeah.
And I think my teacher talked to my parents like, what's up with your kid?
Oh, yeah, because they just see
Fascination
like
in
some
World War
sort of
II.
plane with a bunch of like machine guns on it.
But it's such a funny thing to be into. Like, oh yeah, we're into the best war that ever happened. We won, but
It was pretty impressive. I mean, you look at the tool up and the machines and how many planes they got out to the UK. And
that's
stuff.
very true. And honestly, like the air shows. Did you go to air shows too?
I went to one or two of them when I was really young. You see the Thunderbirds, the
Yeah.
Blue Angels. They had
The Blue
did you ever get the little
Angels.
pamphlets where they'll sign them.
Yeah,
Isn't that
I didn't
cool?
realize how big of a deal the Blue Angels were. I thought they
Yeah.
were like a local act. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's the Blue Angels again.
Yeah.
And then you like talk to somebody like you. It's like, oh no, yeah,
Yeah.
I know the Blue Angels too. And you're like, oh shit,
yeah,
they're
it was a
big.
big deal and it was fun.
Yeah, back then I thought, it's old planes, cool. They just like got them out of the shed, but apparently every plane that was there was like a privately built, like by that person or by a couple of people, like an
Really?
association.
I didn't know
Because
that.
after the war, they just like fucking scrapped all the planes.
Oh yeah.
So what happened is like people took it upon themselves to kind of find the parts and rebuild the planes and then like build it to spec and just do a bunch of research and just display it for people to appreciate.
Well, they're really cool. I mean, they're neat. There's a neat style, and obviously they're purpose built. But now we look at them, we think they're actually kind of pretty too. The lines.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't engineer things like that anymore.
I don't know. The F-35 is pretty cool, but it's a different look.
It's a
right?
different cool though.
yeah. That's
like a different metal too.
Yeah, it's like being
Isn't
an
it?
old car versus a new. Yeah, I'm sure. I
Yeah.
don't even know what it uses. I know that the SR-71, when they built that in the 60s, they made a lot of them out of titanium because it could withstand the heat and the friction from high speed. And that titanium that was like kind of coming up on the Cold War era, like I think they built some sort of bogus company that they were sourcing that titanium from, and it was coming out of Russia. So Russia didn't know that we were building planes with titanium that we were buying from them. Yeah, but
Why are they buying titanium?
yeah.
What are these Americans doing? No,
When I was
that's
a
a
kid-
terrible Russian.
When I was a kid, my dad introduced
think
me
of
to this guy that flew a B-17.
What?
And yeah, he was actually a captain. and his name was Everett Worrell. Super neat guy. He was an amateur radio operator.
Everett Worrell?
Everett Worrell. Yeah. He had a radio show, a radio voice.
Shout out Everett Worrell.
Yeah,
if you're watching this.
He's passed away now.
All right. Shout out Everett Worrell if you're watching.
He's up there smiling down.
Shout out Everett. No,
he used to have a plane on a stamp. Like it had the U.S. stamp of a B-17. You know, they came out with this year with all these stamps. And
damn, he must have got all the chicks. Everett Worrell.
His plane's name was Patches.
Patches.
It came back and had like 300 some like flak holes in the
Patches
tail or something.
hula hand.
Yeah. Kind of looked like that because he had the old like bomber A2 jacket.
Oh yeah,
on and
what was up
everything.
with that guy? That's good.
I don't remember the story on.
Have you ever been inside of one?
Mm.
I actually got to walk in one.
Did you really?
Yeah.
No kidding. No, I've never.
It was a trip.
I may have been up close to one, but no, never inside.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like they fucking built this and they were up in the air with this shit.
Yeah.
It was like a freaking closet.
Did you get to look down into the small turret underneath? That
I mean, the small
up in?
Yeah, the small turret was like it was just the ground underneath, so it wasn't that great. But
yeah.
I just remember all the little rivets they had.
Yeah.
Like that was like oh, fuck. They just had nails, not nails, but like nuts and bolts, like
That's what it looks
as a
like,
part of
yeah.
design of the plane. Like
Yeah.
now the plane is just like this smooth, seemingly one piece. Like
Oh yeah.
they could have probably freaking 3D printed that plane. Like it's so nice.
Yeah. Neat stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of planes, aren't you a pilot?
I am a pilot. Yeah, which feels weird to say.
Yeah. How long have you been a pilot now? I remember for me, you just like left.
Yeah.
I was like, where'd Patrick go?
Yeah.
You come back. He's like, I'm a pilot now.
Did everything get quiet around that time?
Everybody was quiet around that. Wasn't that a pandemic?
Well, it was just July, like 2021, I think. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, we were still feeling the effects of it, but yeah.
Yeah.
I started flying in 2019, and I just started doing some like demo flights, where you kind of get on and try it and fly. And then I tried to fly as often as I could out of Half Moon Bay, but it was always foggy and stuff. So at some point, a friend of mine said, if you really want to do this, because I said, I think I want to like go big time and be like a commercial pilot.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you might want to like do that somewhere else where you can fly regularly. So yeah, I know I went to South Dakota and knocked out all my ratings.
So how did you, you went to South Dakota.
Yeah.
How did you get like access to a plane? Like, how does that work? Because, like when we drive cars, like somebody has to have a car.
Mm-hmm.
How did that happen?
Oh, when I went to South Dakota?
Did you have a plane?
No, there's a flight school there.
Oh, okay.
So he knew of a flight school that you could go to.
And they have the planes.
The owner of it, Morrissey's got about, 40 planes by now. He's got
40 planes.
40 planes. Yeah, it's nuts. The Midwest, there's nothing but open spaces and farmlands and airfields.
I do remember flying over Chicago and just seeing like, what are those? Why are there such long streets?
Yeah, yeah.
And dotted line. And then like houses, like, oh, that's like a runway. And like right next door is their legit house.
I barely noticed runways before.
So
before I
crazy.
really started to get into flying, yeah. And then I realized they're everywhere. It's
They're
awesome.
everywhere.
And then what I didn't realize is that there's the minimal restrictions kind of around them if you're a general aviation pilot. I mean, I used to think, because we all think, okay, we're going to go to the airport and we got to get to TSA and security, and there's all these clearances and FAA stuff around these flights taking off their scheduled flights. So I always kind of naively thought, well, that's the same thing for a small aircraft. But like finally when somebody laid it out for me, I was learning more.
Wild, Wild West.
Well, it's just, there's regulation, but you can show up to the airport. If you keep your hanger tied down there and then you pull it out and you kind of pre-flight and you have a pre-flight plan and then you just take off.
It's all honor system.
Wherever you want to fly to,
Yeah.
So if I just want to randomly fly in some other place in California, like, I don't know, if I wanted to go to Coalinga or Columbia or something, I just fly over. I don't need to call anybody ahead of time. Yeah,
let's go to Columbia.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Kind of a neat town, too. Have you been there?
No.
It's like,
although I do look like I've been there. I'm not.
Yeah, no. It's like a Western town. It's like it never
Columbia?
never grew up. Yeah.
Western town.
Yeah, it's like it was an old gold mining town from like the 1800s.
Really?
Yeah, 1800s, probably so post 1850. And so they kept everything pretty much exactly how it was. They even have like on the weekends like horse and carriages going up and stage coaches and people robbing banks, like kind of mock thing. It's like a recreation.
Like kind of like the Civil War reenactments.
Yeah, except more like gold rush time. So,
in Colombia?
Yeah, Colombia.
Like the
Columbia,
country.
California.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Colombia. I'm like, Colombia?
Oh, yeah. I didn't specify. No, it's just, it's kind of,
that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Thanks, Elijah.
You're welcome.
She looked that up. That's our Jamie.
There we go.
Nice.
I am your
Jamie,
Jamie.
you have to look that up.
Nice. Yeah, go ahead and look up Colombia.
Yeah.
That's cool. Wow.
No, yeah, it's neat. It's so I always liked the idea because I wanted to kind of get out of the busy Bay Area. You know, when I was working in startups, can I just kind of how quickly can I get out if you're not dealing with
Busy
traffic?
bang.
Yeah, and then I didn't work for long enough where I thought, well, okay, well maybe actually I want to get into this. So
you know what's funny is I'd noticed that a lot of people here, you know, they wear the Patagonia, they wear the
you're just
the face of the North.
Yeah.
All the brands, like it's so easy to kind of like get out there in nature, but that's kind of like what people do here. Like there's so much technology, there's so much like screens, like you know, whatever, 5G is in your brain, 6G is out now, but yeah, people like to just like overload on like technology and then like get the fuck away from it.
Yeah.
And then go camping.
No, when I was in startups, all of us wanted to like do really well with our company, and either it turns around great cash or you sell it off, and everybody had the same thing. We dabbled in high technology stuff or high tech stuff just so we could like retire, hopefully, with a lot of money to like a 18th century lifestyle.
Kind of ironic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like be somewhere where there's no reception, there's no power, there's a cabin, and you can just kind of get away.
We're going to build the robots that are going to take over this world, but we're going to have a little corner of that world to camp in.
Totally. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's so ironic.
We joked about it all the time.
Like Armand, like I asked Deo this too, and I said, shout out Deo. I said, you like driving, right? And he's like, yeah. I was like, do you really believe in autonomous vehicles? He's like, I think it's cool.
Yeah.
But like he uses it like when he travels from here to Antioch or wherever he's working.
What does this car have? Do they actually have autonomous vehicles you can ride in as a passenger over there?
Well, there's a company out there. I forget the name. I'm not going to plug the company anyway, but you can essentially plug this thing in, essentially like a dash cam that has a camera at you and in front, and it attaches to your existing ADS system.
Okay.
Your cruise control, like smart cruise control, and then it kind of like works with that existing stuff, adds a lot more software plus like the camera in front, and it essentially gives you level 2 driving, just like a Tesla.
Oh, that's trippy.
Yeah. I could get it on my Prius if I wanted.
Really?
It's not that expensive, but
do you know, like,
I think it's
ballpark?
like $2,000. Yeah.
Whoa.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, you could do it. But yeah, he's called me one time on his like commute.
Have you done it? Have you been in it with him?
Yeah, I have. And it's kind of like, what are you doing? He's like, check this out.
It's not like,
and then it'll like start beeping and like telling them wake up. That's why there's the camera in front, so it like senses the driver whether he's.
It's not like there's somebody in some remote location, like in some other country driving. You know,
no, that'd be cool, but no, I wouldn't. I don't know, man. I've seen Eagle Eye. Okay,
yeah, that's crazy.
Oh man, yeah, no, but imagine that shit. Some people like hack that thing. They'll put on like a paper mask with like eyeballs.
Yeah,
and then they'll just go to sleep, just so they can sleep on their commute. I'm like, how do you have that much trust in technology?
I don't know if I trust that much. You know, I want to. I think it would be great too. I'd see the benefit and the value in it, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, you hear about these cars hitting medians a couple years ago, and I don't know. Like I was merging one time onto like 85, and I remember merging, and there was this car that was just kind of like pacing me. It wouldn't let me.
Don't you fucking hate it when they match your speed? Like, yeah. What do you want?
I couldn't believe it. I looked over. I was like, "What's the deal?" And so finally, I'm like, "I'm going to catch up and see who's driving."
What was the car?
It was a Tesla.
It was a Tesla.
And I pull up next to this car about like ready to like, what the hell is this guy thinking? And this is all I see.
He's just like doop 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 doop.
No, I see this.
Oh no.
Just catching flies, man. Sleep. And I thought, holy shit.
Jesus.
Really? Is that where we're at? And you remember we were up in the city and there was that car that it was like the first weekend I can remember where there could be autonomous vehicles with no driver.
Yep.
And it was just kind of stuck in the middle of the road trying to get past an island.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
You're taking video of it.
Dude.
And then the next day or the next 2 days, they pulled him or something.
Yeah, because there was like something that happened. It was Cruz. Sorry, Cruz. Like, I know we're friends, but... had to report your news. No, a cruise car dragged a person for like a couple streets.
What?
And I say drag because the car didn't hit that person. The person was already on the ground.
Oh.
but the car was somehow unable to detect a person like just on the street.
Were they protesting? Was it a sit-in?
No, I don't think so. I think it was just like a lady or like an old, I don't know.
Oh shit!
Like how else would somebody fall? And then the car was just like, what person? Just fucking drag that person. The person's alive, but it's not good for, you know.
No, it's not a good. It's not good optics, is
Not good
like
optics. Connectivity.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, Teslas, if you're on autopilot, I know it because they brake so hard. It's
really?
so unreasonable. Like they're just like cruising. There's no car in front of them, maybe for like a couple car spaces, but then all of a sudden they'll just slam on brakes and then you're like, what are you fucking braking for?
Yeah.
Like no human brakes that hard.
Well, they brake like as soon as I think they let off the throttle. It's like that regenerative braking. And then they brake on top of it, I guess.
It's really insane. It's so unsafe. And my only wish is, you know, autopilot yourself and you know, wrap yourself around a tree by yourself. Don't involve us. Just do it by yourself. Like I will not shed a tear for a person that dies while using autopilot. It's your choice. I mean, you wanted it.
Be a small tear, you know.
Tears of joy. Another one. Yes.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you pick the right, if it was a BMW, then probably yes.
Oh, more tears of joy. No, here's my theory, and please see me in the comment section.
Yeah.
But my theory is BMWs at one point were like the epitome of luxury. Who's that? I thought I put on Do Not Disturb.
Well, the funny thing is like my phone just stopped ringing and it was like distracting me, and now yours is going there.
Sorry, let me get that real quick.
Yeah, that might be important.
Oh, it's Louise.
A few moments later.
What was I talking about?
BMWs.
Oh, BMWs. Yes. Here's my theory. BMWs at one point were like the epitome of like, I've made it. I'm rich.
Yep.
I have money. I like luxury. Look at me.
A lawyer, attorney, you know,
but
good job.
The sad part is I have friends that like BMWs for the pure reason of they believe that they are the ultimate driving machine. They can take turns.
Yep.
They're well built, well made. I don't know about today, but yeah. So what happened was now they're like marketing it for the successful people.
Yeah.
And now you got these idiot successful people that don't know shit about cars
or driving,
but
getting you put them in a real machine, you know.
Yeah.
And they act like they can drive.
Right. And then now you got this whole reputation of BMW drivers being assholes. And so now BMW no longer the epitome of luxury for everybody. It became Tesla. So the previous BMW driver is now finding themselves in a stupid fucking Tesla. And now BMW drivers are just like, oh, we're normal again. Like there's not that much like bad ones unless they have like an older model. Then you're like, ooh.
See, that's the difference between you and I. And there's not a lot. You're sensitized to the Tesla drivers. I don't notice as much. I just notice every time a BMW is cutting me off, or like you can always see them like they're in traffic. They're kind of vying for some lane. And you think, God, they must all be race car drivers, you know?
No.
But the bottom line is they're not, you know, and it drives you nuts.
I will say this. Justin rented a Hellcat.
Oh, did he? Oh,
fucking,
shit.
like,
Did you go in that car?
And it's got a Hemi. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're like
Shout out
700
Justin.
horsepower or something. You know,
Dude.
or maybe it's a Demon. I don't know. One of they're high.
So I forgot where he worked, but it was far enough to where he could ask for a rental car around here.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like Santa Cruz, but I'm not sure. So the day he came back from his work trip, he was like, yo, bro, you got to drive this car.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, we're gonna take like San Thomas Expressway.
Yeah.
You're gonna drive it. I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna expect. It's not shift or like it's not stick shift or anything. And I'm like, okay, cool. So like I got in it and I was like, I just immediately felt like a douche.
Right. Yeah.
It's like I get it. Like I'm a douche and I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I got in and I was like, fuck yeah. Like look at like so much blind spots. I couldn't see shit.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's terrible.
Fuck.
Looking
Like,
around.
so we got on the expressway and I'm just like, he's like, okay, like give some gap, like go slow on purpose. I'm like, oh, okay. And then like, okay, now fucking just floor it. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. And I'm just like, oh, fuck, this is crazy. And he's just like, yeah.
I don't think until those cars came out, like the Tesla with the insane mode or whatever that mode is, people realized what a fast car was. But people did, but typically in the past, you had to like be a gearhead and you had to build a car and you had to know what you're doing and spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you can get like a 12, 10, 11 or 10-second car. They're like in the quarter mile. And that was fast. And now you just go buy one. Every manufacturer's got one.
And isn't part of like making it fast yourself part of like the
you kind of earn it,
it's fucking me.
I mean, typically
like, I'm fast.
Yeah, but when you get that too, it's like you kind of earn it. You typically know how to drive that sort of car, or you crash it real fast. And now it's like, man, the cost of entry is run the credit card for down payment and show up and make payments. And,
whoopsies.
Yeah, now anybody's got like an insane race car.
It amazes me that the people that sometimes drive those cars like barely can afford to live.
Yeah,
but they have the car.
Yeah.
But it's like the living situation is like, whoa.
Well, it's a bad investment and a bad asset too,
Right? Yeah.
It's bad asset.
Badass, eh? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, but I don't know. Driving this Prius, it's fucking boring. It's making me like want to get a fun car.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you want to get rid of it though?
No. It's like, I just want a mistress.
Oh,
keep the one.
It's your steady daily driver.
Keep the thing doing its thing. The thing it's doing really good, and then on the side you get like the thing that can go over rocks or like can carry a shitload of bikes.
Sure,
or, like
the adventure vehicle, whatever that adventure is for you. If it's going faster, rock crawling.
I mean, I've been looking at freaking Euro vans.
Yeah, they're cool.
I'm just like, shit. I can sleep in here or on top.
They're neat.
I could shower here, apparently. I could cook in here. I probably wouldn't. I would still just get a foldable table and cook my fucking smelly Filipino food outside. Because who wants to smell that shit in a van,
We took one up to Crater Lake in Oregon one time. My cousin had a 2003 Euro van with a pop top. And God, it was awesome. I didn't think much about them before. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. It's like But when you get on the road and you have all your gear in the back and then you end up someplace camping or hiking, it's like, you can go anywhere.
Yeah. Talk about a good investment, because
yes,
I was looking at the prices of them. I'm like, you want what for what gear? Jesus, like
nuts, huh?
10,000. The lowest I'll see is like 6, but there's like a big issue. And then like the really clean ones are like 20 still.
Sure, yeah, and you don't want to get into the business of repairing a German automobile.
Nope. I don't know shit about cars. Yeah.
I know enough about them that I just like to have one that's reliable and on the fix,
Yeah.
I have the Prius too.
You have the Prius, but you also have the Mistress.
Yeah, I do. I always had the...
What is your Mistress?
Well, I got the Prius because it's good on gas mileage and it's green and everything. And then I got another car that probably burns 9 gallons per hour. It's a 9 gallons per hour. It's 9 gallons...
a mile.
Miles per gallon.
9
miles per gallon. See, the airplane is gallons per hour. No, it's a 65 Corvette Stingray.
Ooh.
Convertible. Yeah.
Nice.
So I got it back in 2014 or 15.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That recent?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, recent now.
That's like over a decade, man.
Well, yeah. What's recent?
Don't remind me.
We're getting old, aren't we?
Oh my God. Well, 2014 is still memorable for me, but when you say like 1965 to 2014,
oh, okay, yeah, that you're looking at the dates that way. I just think I was like 24 when I got it, and I thought at the time was like, hey, it's a pretty cool car to get. I thought it'd be a long time before I got it.
Sorry, I'm like shook at the whole decade thing you said.
Yeah, no, thank you for that.
I'm sorry, don't mean to date you guys.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Dang. Yeah, that car is cool. That's like your baby.
Well, it's fun, yeah, for sure. I haven't given a whole lot of attention over the past couple of years. Everything's been focused towards career,
the
flying.
new mistress.
Yeah, airplanes. Yeah.
Actually, what do you call it? That's going to be your work wife, the airplane.
Yeah, the airplane. Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. So before airplanes, what were you doing?
Before airplanes?
Yeah.
Oh, and startup companies.
Just starting companies.
What do you mean? But what was I doing before I came to California? I came to California in 2013, and it was for a startup company. And then I just kind of focused on all business things related. I was trying to kind of grow up pretty quick in 23. Yeah.
Were you doing the whole American Psycho thing?
American Psycho. I never saw American Psycho.
Really?
Was that with was that Christian Bale?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I never saw that.
Dude,
yeah.
watch that movie.
Really?
It's invigorating.
I feel like we should keep a list now of all the movies.
You seen it, Elijah?
Watch.
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
It's so wild. I love it. It's so like I'm sure if you watched it back then, you'd just be like, I think they were serious when they made this movie. But then when you watch the movie now, you're like,
Yeah.
I think the most shocking thing about American Psycho is that it was written by a woman, and you'd never know that from the character.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that woman.
Well,
That's great.
pretty neat.
That's funny. Oh man, that reminds me of that Jack Nicklaus line.
I don't know that one that you're talking
You're
about.
lying.
No, I don't. I've never heard that one. I mean, I don't.
Okay, we'll talk amongst ourselves then.
Yeah.
You know that line? What was that movie? As Good as It Gets?
I still, it's kind of iffy to me, you know.
Have you seen that?
You seem to remember something, you know.
No, I honestly don't know what you're referencing.
Well, so I came out here in 2013. No, before that I was working at a practice, a physical therapy practice, my mother's practice, and I was doing management and operations management. And so I came out because I wanted to move to California. My family was originally from here. But as soon as I moved out, it's like all the things that I was into before. I was into like horseback riding and snowboarding and cars and everything. I thought, I'm just going to pack all this kind of stuff up in like a sealed package, leave it here, and I'm going to go out and kind of focus on business stuff.
So you left your horse in a box?
I did, yeah. Buried the horse. A couple of them. No, but they were my neighbors. He put them on our property.
Nice. Yeah. They went and lived on a farm somewhere.
Yeah, they were on our farm, kind of, and then they kind of went somewhere else. So.
Dang.
Yeah. So anyhow, and then I'd been doing startup companies, and I think after the last startup company I was involved in, I thought, I'm just going to take some time off because I could take some time off and just kind of like everything had been a mad rush. I turned around, it was like I was over 30. You know?
It was always operations, right?
Always operations, yeah, and then finance operations. And so, I took some time off because I went to, I think the eye-opening thing was I went to a Berkeley concert. Saw Jack Johnson. I know I like Jack Johnson, you know.
Yeah.
And so,
I need some banana pancakes right now.
Yeah. Well, I looked around and I was like, holy shit! Look at all these young people. Like it was a school area. It's a school campus, you know. And I hadn't for the time that I'd been out here at that point, I was at least 30, and it's like I hadn't been around anybody that was my age for a long time. Everybody I knew was like 40s, 50s, 60s, technology focused. Because anyways, I just wanted to take some time off.
Yeah, you do make older friends. You have a lot of them.
Yep.
It's probably the Corvette Club.
That too. Yeah, they looked at me like I was some sort of anomaly. They're like a 24-year-old driving a 65 big black. What planet did you come off of, you know? Yeah.
Planet Old Soul.
Yeah, old soul, I guess.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Dang.
So anyways, took some time off and decided that all my friends that either had companies and had airplanes or were professional pilots, I spent time around them, and then it was kind of clear. It was like, I think I like this better.
I mean, that makes sense. You know, you surround yourself with people that you like look up to and respect.
Sure.
And you kind of make maybe part of you wants to attain what they've attained. You know
what it was?
Certain footstep.
It was being in that corporate, like that kind of that corporate environment structure, you know, where there's these sensitivity trainings and there's all these like corporate jargon and you're always looking out for financing like 18 months in the future. And so you can't like plan a life around it. And it's kind of like a whole pie in the sky thing. It's a great endeavor. I think everybody should be involved with it at some point.
Yeah.
But you realize it's like, I'm never, the off switch is never, there's no such thing as an off switch.
That's
I'm
true.
always on. It's always a call in the middle of the night. And if I won't pick it up, I'm not, I'm not on board, you know?
Dang.
And it's like, I kind of want
That's
to
that
like
startup stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like you're in ground level, man. You got to be here or the train's leaving.
Yeah. And if the train leaves and the company doesn't take off, you're kind of starting from square one again. So it's good character building. But I thought, what can I do that like you actually have a good quality of life? You actually really enjoy what you do, because I was good at some of the things that I did, but I didn't necessarily love it, you know?
Yeah.
And I think I found out you got to love things. You got to love what you do.
I hope you continue to love it, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, you meet fascinating people. Like pilots in general are really cool.
I've met a couple.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. You've been down to Half Moon Bay.
They're like,
been to the hangar and been in simulators.
So much life.
Isn't it?
Yeah, their enthusiasm for like the things that they're talking about. I'm just like, it's all going over my head because it's all like aviation jargon. I'm like, yeah. Totally.
Yeah. Well,
but I appreciate the energy. I can identify that energy, and I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, I wish for me when I'm that old, or in a couple of years, like I can still.
You
have
are that old. You just haven't realized it.
Yeah. I hope
we're not spring chickens anymore.
Yeah. I'm fall chicken. Yeah. Get it? Spring, fall. Winter chicken. But yeah, hopefully I have that enthusiasm for something.
Yeah. The neat thing that I like is that though aviation's really cool and it is a love, everybody that surrounds it has all sorts of other different interests outside of it. So they always have like some sort of building project they're doing, some sort of engineering project, or just something kind of neat. And it's like they all have other hobbies they do.
Yeah.
Because they can only fly so many hours in the month, you know.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, wait, why? Because there's like a limit?
FAA, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. For commercial pilots, you can only fly so many hours. I think it's 100 hours a month, but in most cases, I think, you fly about 75 hours a month. Yeah. Yeah. So instead of like working 75 to 100 hours a week, that's kind of what you do in a month, you know?
Oh, cool.
And you would actually enjoy showing up to work and flying passengers or cargo around. Or, a friend of mine says it's the neatest thing because like he has a couple flights a month. And because he goes over long range to like Singapore or Japan.
Wow.
And so like when he finally gets like a call to go fly, or now he has a line, it's like, oh, cool. Look, I'm going to work. I guess I'll be in Japan,
Neato.
next week. Yeah, it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah.
That's cool.
So how many people get up and like, oh, wow, I get to go to work today and go to someplace cool. This
every
is
day.
Fun, and
It's kidding.
you're on board with like another couple pilots that have similar interest. And the way I was told, it's always like you just know that when you get off the plane and you're in like Japan or something, it's just understood they're all going to hang out, go to a bar, or go to some place and get really good ramen, and it's just
Sake bums.
Good culture,
Sake bum.
Yeah, sake bum.
Sake bum.
Yeah.
So should I become a pilot or what?
I think you should consider it. At least your general aviation. You come from a long line of aviation enthusiasts, right?
As my dad.
Yeah.
Called it.
What's he call it?
I come from a long line of frustrated pilots.
And what is a frustrated pilot?
I guess it's like somebody who always wanted to be a pilot,
Yeah.
but never did it.
Mm-hmm.
And then like apparently my dad is the same. So my grandpa was, then my dad, me. I'm like, I don't know. It never like beckoned. I never got the calling.
Well, how about when we went flying the other day? Did you get any kind of like, oh wow?
I mean, aside from like the sudden turbulence we felt right on takeoff, I was like, oh, there's my lunch now.
Yeah.
No, that was cool. But it was different. I've played, flight simulators. Like my dad had them back in like Windows 95.
Yeah. I remember that actually. It was a long time ago. I was stalled.
I played, every video game like Battlefield that has an airplane. I'm like, I'm fucking getting in. That's like, it's fun to me. But
so if you're telling me you have like all these cool planes, a P-38 Lightning, a B-17, a P-51, you played Flight Simulator, you built models and stuff.
I think that was the plan for my dad. Like I was the kid that kind of like entertained my dad's wants for me or for his kids, or like he tried to wake up my other brothers to like go to an air show, and they would be like no, and I'd just be like, okay, like I kind of felt bad, like my dad wants to go and nobody wants to go with him, and I'm like, I'll go with you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did that a couple times. The first time I realized this is the secret, because when we used to go, it was all three of us, and then we would just get like a big bag of Dorito chips and like a bunch of sodas in a cooler, and then like we'd lug this thing around.
Sure.
Right. But the last time I went with my dad, it was just me. We skipped all that. I was like, oh no, where's the Dorito chips? Like, this is gonna be a shitty.
But at least
trip.
you went though. Yeah.
No, we did the actual food there.
Oh,
so we balled out.
Moving
like,
on
we're
up.
going.
Yeah,
it's like we're gonna get the food, the expensive food that they overcharge
the
for.
experience has evolved. It's elevated.
I was like, this is. I get it. You don't want to spend money on 3 children all at once.
Yeah.
But one child that day.
Yeah. Nice.
We're balling.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah, that was cool.
Well, to answer your question, yeah, I think you should consider going out on a discovery flight and flying, because I don't know, we spend enough time together. I see all the things that you're interested in, and as you know, I'm an instructor.
Yeah,
multi-engine and a double I instrument instructor, and so like I've flown with a lot of people that are like everything from 17 to older, and the traits that you have is you take things seriously to the point that when you get into something, you analyze it, you learn about it, you figure out how all the workings, how everything kind of lines up and pieces together. And you're not like reckless, like with your actions and stuff. I've driven with you.
Not on purpose.
So I see what your scan is in the car. Yeah. So when you kind of add all those things up in that background, it's like you might end up getting into it, having a discovery flight, flying more and more and thinking like,
What's
Yeah,
a discovery flight?
Well, that's where you just say, well, it's kind of like what we did the other day, where we did the Bay tour. We flew around the Bay. You know, that's where you like you've never been on a small general aviation aircraft.
Yeah.
And you don't know if it's kind of for you, but you have an interest or you think you want to get into it.
Got
So typically you show up and there's a CFI there like myself, and he says, well, I'll take you for a discovery flight, see what you think, and you'll go up for half an hour and fly around.
Yeah.
And then usually that person's either ready to take lessons or they're just it blows their mind. They're like, man, this is like the simulator, except it's real. I want in. So
I mean, honestly, like
yeah.
aside from like the gut feeling of like I should do this,
Yeah.
like it would make sense. Like the route, like you have the essentially last year's tests,
Yeah.
right? Like
Oh, me? Yeah.
not necessarily the answers, but like how to get things done in terms of like getting the license or getting.
But I'm having flashbacks to your exams that you're talking about the other day. No, I can't pass off the
No!
exams to you, but you can
Of
get
course
all
not.
the answers for
I don't think
them.
you should cheat on these tests.
No,
Like,
no. But you're also you play video games, right? And
Oh,
you
yeah.
grew up playing video games,
Yeah.
right? The fastest learners that I found, the students played video games.
Fucking nerds.
Played video games. You have those little small micro management skills with your fingers. You know,
Oh,
really
yeah,
good
dude.
dexterity. Where I never had that. So for me, it was like, how do you keep this thing on course? And it took a while.
And that and the piano.
It would, you would pick it up so fast. It would be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So maybe you should consider it.
I will
you know?
consider it.
Yeah, and I do know the process. So if you wanted to,
Yeah, it's like, what do I do, dude?
you just have to rent the plane, and then of course I'll be your CFI if you want.
What does that stand for? CFI?
Certified flight instructor.
All right.
Yeah,
We're just going to get a bunch of our buddies to become pilots, too.
that's funny.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, I try to get Deo.
Oh, Deo.
He's interested in it.
Yeah, why not?
Well, I'm going to be gone.
Shout out
'cause
Deo.
Yeah, I'm going to be gone though for the next 3 or 4 months. So
What?
yeah, I know I'm going to be gone.
Another one? First Julie, now you? Is there
I
a-
might end up in Newark too.
Is
You never
there
know.
a... Oh, my God.
Yeah. Well, places that are Chicago.
Shout out Julie for leaving here.
Yeah.
Taking another one.
Going to Jersey.
Joyzy.
Yeah.
Hey. Oh. That's cool.
But I can always come back. I'll have
Yeah.
jump seat privileges, so I can come back anytime.
Jump seat. What is that?
Okay, so it's like, as a pilot working for a regional airport or airline or any legacy, they have what's called the CAS system, and so basically you have your company ID, and so you can go up to most any flight if they have some sort of agreement with them or they're part of the CAS system.
Uh-huh.
And you can just hop on board and take a jump seat and you don't have to pay.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of like you're all in the industry.
Do you have to
Yeah.
be online to see if there's a jump seat available? You can just go up to
go up to the desk?
the people and be like,
From what
y'all
I'm
got
told,
jump seats?
From what I'm told, you can just go right up to the person working the desk, and you can ask, see if the jump seat's available.
Dang.
And the captain of the flight will come by, and sometimes you meet with him and say, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the jump seat, you can come on board." And so you could be with SkyWest or Delta or GoJet, United, and you just take another flight.
Nice.
Yeah. And they do it because you don't always live by your base. Sometimes you have to commute, and it's kind of easier if everybody says, "Hey, your pilots can fly aboard our airlines,
Yeah.
and our pilots can fly aboard yours."
You scratch my back, I'll scratch your
Yeah.
balls. No.
It's a good trade-off. No.
Speaking of, you should totally
Yeah.
grow a stash, dude. Get a
I don't
pilot
know.
Stash.
Everybody's doing it. I've never been the person
Who's
to do what everybody
everybody?
else is doing.
Who's everybody?
Oh, everybody since Top Gun the Maverick came out, right?
Yeah, but you're
Throwing
gonna
stash.
actually be a pilot.
Yeah, but there's so many of them already that have the mustache.
You're gonna
Yeah.
you're telling me you're gonna wear that hat
Yeah.
and wear the suit
I-
and not have the fucking stash?
You know what? The stash
I see it.
It'll probably age me, though. I see guys that are in their
I'm
20s,
drawing the stash
like
on you
20,
right now.
22, and it makes them look older. And I'm 36 already. I don't need to look any older. I'm trying to keep the baby
You know
face
what's sad?
going. What's that?
sad about growing older and inevitably your hair getting white? Like mine, you could probably see it.
You're covering
Oh
yourself.
shit, I have a beanie. I forgot.
Yeah.
But when your facial hair starts getting white, oh my god, that is not flattering. Like it
Yeah.
really just sticks out. Like
Yeah.
it looks like lint. And
start
you're like,
getting them
oh,
here.
what is
Yeah.
this? No, it's just like this big white hair, and you're just like, oh my god, I got
Then they're
pulled.
not as fun to pluck either. are they?
Dude, why do they hurt?
Painful.
Why do they hurt?
Yeah, it's like plucking a nose
I
hair.
don't know. You have any
Almost.
of that, Elijah?
Any white hairs?
Yeah.
Gray nose hairs.
Not yet?
I have one white hair in my eyebrow that I've had since middle school. But that's
Eyebrow?
yeah, that's the only one I've found.
I'm gonna look for it later. That's random.
If it's there right now, I do pluck it on occasion.
Oh my god. Oh, so it's a re-returner. It returns.
Yeah, it's been there since middle school.
Not going away. You don't take like a Sharpie marker or anything. Just say I got.
No, if I get tired of it, it just gets tweezers.
Yeah. You know, I heard an expression the other day from like a mid 30s to late 40s female, and she's like, I do plan on aging. And I was like, what do you mean? Like she meant she plans on not doing anything cosmetic to look younger.
Oh.
Like no dye, nothing. Like she just, I'm gonna wear my age.
I do.
Yeah,
plan
that's
on,
the thing. Like aging gracefully. It's more
I didn't
like
know
a
it
modern
wasn't
move.
a thing.
I thought it was called
because
giving
women
up.
are supposed to be like young and youthful, you know.
Yeah.
So there's like this whole beauty industry on staying young,
Ugh.
keeping your age like hidden away. So
Speaking of beauty industry, I went to an Ulta. Remember those?
An Alta?
Yeah, an Ulta.
yeah, Ulta Beauty.
Yeah. So it's been a while since I dated anybody that like was into like extreme amounts of makeup. So I went there with Min. You guys met Min, yeah, and his cousin, who is a she, and she was like, "Let's go to Ulta," and I was like, "Oh shit, it's been like 10 years." Well, yeah, let's go. It's the same, but it's like, oh shit, this is still a thing. Like there's like more stuff. There's like lotions for your face, sprays for your hands, sprays for your face. Like it's kind of crazy. Like you can get like these fresh sprays. And I did try it and I was like, that is kind of nice. Like there's just like this overall aura of smell all of a sudden.
Was it for men or is it just in general fragrance, you know, kind of like
I want to say it's
spray
generally for
dancing?
women, but
you liked it. I generally like nice smells.
I liked it. I don't know if I like the money that I would spend on it for me, but I do know men that are into like self-care and beauty that are straight.
I kind of am into some of it. Like, actually, I'm not afraid to say I think sometimes like those pedicures are like really cool. Have you ever done one?
No,
Have
just
you?
kidding. No, I haven't. I am
They get
curious.
these hot stones
need to
and
do
start
it,
massaging
Dave.
your
I need to
feet.
do
Pamper
it.
your
Can we do it
feet.
together?
Maybe
Yeah.
we should do
All
like
of us.
all
We'll
three
do
of
like a
us.
spa
Do you want to do
day.
it? Right
Face
down the
masks,
street, there's a really good one. I'm
Really?
serious. No, I will make you do it now. Yeah.
Sounds fun.
You're going to like it. Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna lie.
We'll rent
I've
the
been
place out.
watching.
Yeah.
I've been getting this weird echo chamber of videos on like Instagram and Facebook, and a lot of it is like ingrown toenails,
Oh, yeah.
overgrown
They
toenails.
caught you. Then
I'm just like, what am I looking at? The horns of a sheep? Like, Jesus Christ. And they're like, oh, we're going to cut into it. And they cut to the guy's like face. He's like crooked. He's like, oh, that hurts. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I have like the slightest, like it's growing in, but like,
did you look it up?
I cut him. Like, no, I cut my nails.
But they discovered you. They found you.
Dude, I don't know who's watching this on my friends list,
Yeah.
but clearly they're like, hey, if this person likes it, Dave might like it too. And I'm sitting there watching it like in disgust, but like for some reason my mouth is also watering.
Yeah.
Like, does that happen to you guys?
What, your mouth is
You're looking
watering?
at disgusting shit and you're like, what? Like, I don't know if it's getting ready to vomit or like, what is that?
No, I think sometimes it's just wincing in pain, you know?
Yeah,
If
but
you're
my
looking-
mouth is suddenly like, there's more water in there than there was.
I don't know. You were talking the other day about the, like, what kind of guy are you? Are you a foot guy? You're not a foot guy,
No,
though,
I'm
right?
not a foot guy.
Do you like to
Ugh.
pamper yourself, though? I mean,
Not in that way.
what do you
no.
consider pampering yourself?
Fucking food.
Oh, yeah.
I
yeah,
love food.
Yeah.
Like
me
food,
too.
good food. It's got to be good. Nothing will upset me more than subpar cuisine.
Or having to pay for subpar cuisine. Like, it's
Yeah.
actually something good.
Yeah, like I don't mean it has to be expensive for it to be good or anything like that. Like there's definitely like I'm more of a hole in the wall kind of person.
Sure.
I appreciate authentic people making authentic dishes.
Yeah.
But
Getting
without
harder to find up here.
fucking Mountain View, you serious? Like the rent is so expensive. It's like no wonder like people can't afford to be here.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
they
not a
really
whole lot
can't.
of like experience places if you're looking for like hole in the wall, family owned, really, really neat, unique food that
Mm-hmm.
makes you smile and like you know that good food when you eat there and you're sitting there eating, you're just like, holy shit, this is so good.
You're showing each other your orgasm face.
Pretty much, yeah.
I think we did it last time. Where it's like, oh, it's like, oh.
Oh, we went and got Chinese.
We're like, oh my god.
Well, you did that. I can't do that. No, when I pamper myself, I think like it's weird. It took me the longest time when I was a kid for like Christmas. Sometimes you would get like like socks and stuff, and I was like, oh, or some sort of like
Socks.
lotion. But now when I think about it, like nice things like a cool candle this time of year, like a balsam candle, like comfy throws, like at nighttime when you're trying to get into your little nest and be relaxed. I find that like comforting.
Nice.
That's like so that and good food. If you can combine all of those elements together, it's like I was telling Elijah the other day, it's like this is like wealth right here. It's not a big dollar sign. It's the nice stuff that makes you feel good.
I think so. Yeah, I would say mine is like good food, good people.
Yep.
Good pizza, Papa John's. No, no, like good food.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, if you use this link, 15% off. No, good food, a great movie, like just hanging out with people.
Yep. But really, how does it get better than that? I mean, it doesn't like. I mean, you get so much fun there for like very little output.
I mean, going to the club and getting bottle service is pretty sick. No, I'm just kidding. That's not relaxing though. That's just like once in a while. It's just fun to see the mayhem.
Well, I was saying it's like, we could be on a yacht right now on the Greek islands, and that's great and all, but actually the level of happiness I have right now, I really don't think
the
it could
logistics
get
of
better.
that yacht.
Yeah, you'd have to be like
you'd have to be rich enough to not worry about the logistics of the yacht.
Sure.
I kind of feel that way when people drive Rolls Royces.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't have a driver?
Yeah.
That's stupid. Like, that's that's for your driver. Then you get driven Rolls Royce. That's my idea of a Rolls Royce, like those classy cars.
Yeah. I haven't really seen too many like people actually driving. I guess I've seen them, but I never really knew like, is it the actual owner? Is it a chauffeur?
Oh, there's never anybody in the back.
All right.
It's like, look at this fool.
Yeah.
He thinks he's cool. No. Yeah, no. Definitely wealth in the things that you enjoy and not necessarily the things that like the media tell you to enjoy.
Hell no.
Mm-hmm. You know what I hate is those travel videos. It's like they just show you like, look, this is what I'm doing today. I'm traveling. Like they want people to just travel.
Well, maybe it's not a really sexy thing to run an advertisement that shows like a nice family unit at home kind of enjoying a meal, hanging out, with candles lit, watching a movie night. That's like, what are we doing here?
When you said that,
yeah.
I just imagined the Snuggie commercial. It's just like the guy, the girl, the son, the daughter in a fucking Snuggie, the big ass popcorn.
Oh, the Snuggie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking like Snuggly or that laundry detergent. Or
No,
something.
the Snuggie. Do you remember the Snuggie?
I do, yeah.
I wish I could use that thing. I run hot. I run too hot.
Do you?
I think if I wore that, because I had like a version of that where it was like made of that fuzzy fur. Oh, man. It's just too hot, dude.
Like a fleece or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was way too hot.
No, so you're saying you wouldn't wear it because it's too hot. You run hot. Yeah, okay.
Couldn't. I would get to a point where it's like I'm freezing. Then I'm like, okay, now I'm good. Okay, now just turn off the heat. Turn off the heat. It just keeps like recirculating into like until I'm boiling.
I remember like seeing it for the first times in my 20s. I thought, what man wears that thing? What the? It looks very silly.
A wealthy man.
Yeah, that's right.
Not us. We're not wealthy.
No,
Not yet. No. Yeah, no. That's cool. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Elijah? How do you define wealth?
Oh, wealth is definitely not having to like worry about funding your lifestyle anymore. Just being able to do the things you enjoy, being around like good people, having good food, not working all the time.
But there's people that do that
Work.
still have to worry about funding their lifestyle, right?
I mean, of course, yeah, you definitely still have to fund your lifestyle, but not living like beyond your means.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something to be said for that.
Yeah. I mean, for most of my life, I had no means.
Yeah.
Hence the biking. But I think I'm able to kind of adapt according to, my means at the time.
Sure. Yeah.
I definitely miss biking. I haven't biked in a while, but it's only because I work so far, and most of my biking was like commuting.
I missed you pulling out all these little bikes that are either little mountain bikes or like a Cinelli,
Like,
and I was
Jesus,
like,
another
Jesus.
one?
No, it's just cool. I'm like, you're like, oh, I
Fuck,
showed
I
you
missed
this
that
one
Cinelli.
before. Look at this. It was like, damn, that's
I'm not gonna
beautiful.
lie. Sometimes I look up on like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist just to look up like I'm gonna fucking buy one again.
Oh,
I'm gonna
really?
Get another Vigorelli. I'm gonna get another Bianchi Pista concept. But
their
no.
artwork, I kind of always wanted to hang one up besides riding one, but every once in a while, an old 60s, or excuse me, like it would be a 70s, like a mid or early 70s, like Colnago pops up, and I think, damn, that looks cool. Look at the lugs on that.
I actually made a list once just to see like how many bikes I've owned. Mm-hmm. 1, all at once,
right,
and 2, all together.
Uh-huh.
And I think the number was 12 all at once, and about 25 altogether.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's wealth right there.
Yeah, to some people. To others people, no.
But, I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's also nice that, like, if you're fascinated with like bikes and stuff. Like one time we were into mountain bikes and everything, and I guess some of those mountain bikes at the time got up to like $10,000. And I had some friends that like were really, really good riders, and they said, that's nuts, who would ever spend that kind of money? And yeah, it's expensive, but I was like, well, there are some people that really like sports cars and they like Ferraris, and they're $300,000 plus. But maybe you can't afford that. Maybe you really like biking.
Yeah.
You probably can afford the Ferrari of bikes if you want one. And you can get the biggest, baddest, and nicest one. And hopefully that should be attainable.
There is probably like a graph that you can go, expense to like how much you want it or how much you're really into this thing.
Sure.
And it's like, you gotta be right in the middle.
Yep.
It can't be more expensive than you are into it, because then you're a fucking poser.
Yeah.
And you can't be really into it and like, then you're like, oh, then you're not happy because you want the thing that matches how expensive it is versus how much you're into it. But I think the bikes was kind of like a thing. I grew up with like zero money at the time, and I had like bikes, and anytime I got a flat tire, I was like, how the fuck am I going to pay for that inner tube?
Yeah.
But yeah, we always helped each other out, like the biking community. They're like, oh, you can take my inner tube, man. We're like, oh, okay, thanks.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about the bike community.
Yeah, at one point you looked up at these bikes and you're like, one day I'm going to get those bikes. And that day came, and I was like, I got the money to get the bikes.
Which one was it? Was there one specific when you got it? You're like,
it was probably
home, and it was like, this is a proud day for me.
It was probably the Vigorelli.
Was it? Yeah. I need to see a picture of that. Yeah.
Oh man, it was like, I remember a lot of people that had that bike back in the day, and I was like, look at this asshole. I want to be that asshole.
Yeah. Look at this asshole. I'm so jealous.
I wish I had that
could just
asshole.
be that guy.
Yeah. So I got that bike, and then I realized, bikes take up too much room.
Sure.
And the hobbies turned into other things like watches, and then I went into like a Seiko rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Psychotic.
It took you a while to get out of that, huh?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, because it was so fun. They were so like attainable. Like, they're good quality. They're priced very fairly. The other thing is, apparently my grandpa had a Seiko.
Yeah, it's in the family. There's history there.
Yeah, totally. My dad saw me getting into watches kind of like mid-pandemic, and he's like, your grandpa had a Seiko.
Yeah.
And I said, which one? Show me. I almost choked him.
Yeah, because you might have had one by then, right? Or a couple?
I had a couple by then, and then, I kind of gave my dad one too. But he showed me the one that my grandpa had, and it was the Bellmatic.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I've seen this.
Yeah.
Like, this is, not worth something like I'm going to pawn it or something. But
but the sentimentality and the fact that you were into Seiko.
It was disgusting looking. Yeah. It was like, ooh, like the patina on it was like, it looked like it was in the tropics for sure, like the Philippines.
Yeah, but that's a cool thing now, right?
It's totally
it's
cool.
Become your grandfather would see it like, I need a new watch. This one's used up, and now we'd see it and be like, oh my God, look at that. You can't fake that. I mean, you probably could, but it's not the same.
Oh, there's a lot of fake Seikos. Yeah. But this, I don't think anybody cared about the Bellmatics that much to fake them. But I did go down a rabbit hole into getting this watch working. I tried to do it myself, like opening the watch and checking out what was wrong with it. But oh God, there's like way too many screws and springs.
Yeah, but the fact that you took that on, because I remember around that time, and I was like, that's awesome. You bought like the tool for taking the watch case back off.
Yeah.
I was like, that's neat,
Yeah.
That's when I knew it's like, this guy gets into stuff, and he actually like...
I fuck around.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And I like the fact that, I didn't know much about Seikos at the time, and I just thought, oh, it's a Seiko, like Seiko Citizen, and there's all these other big names, and it wasn't until like I started talking with you about it, I realized, I'm like, man, these watches have heritage. There's some really cool ones. Bruce Lee's got this one. Was it the first one in space or on the moon, or what was
the first chronograph in space?
Yeah.
Yep. The Pogue.
Yeah, and it doesn't have like this you don't. It's not like you're putting on some sort of air or some tone of obnoxiousness when you're wearing it around friends. You've got a neat historical kind of, and then the only people that necessarily pick it out are the ones that see that it's kind of neat looking, or they're into Seikos, you know.
Yeah. That's cool. But
it's like you in the club.
Yeah, I finally got it working. I ended up not using the original movement, but I got like a replacement movement because that movement was like toast.
Same kind of movement.
Same movement for sure. Yeah. Same face. The only thing that was different was the movement itself because the other one was just trashed. So I kept the face, I kept the case back, and glass even. So I cleaned up everything.
Do you mean crystal?
Crystal true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had an uncle one time. And I was like, look at the face of that clock, and he's like, Patrick, it's not a face, it's a dial.
The dial phase.
Yeah.
You can say dial phase, but
termers, you know, got the specific terms for stuff.
So I got it to work, and then I wound it up, and the Bellmatic had this like a hammer, a physical hammer that would hit a bell in the watch, and it would vibrate and go like make this.
But it wasn't.
ring.
It wasn't a tuning fork. That was just the ringer on it.
It was just a ringer.
bell. Okay.
Yeah. And then my dad's face was like, oh, like he freaked out. He like paused, was like taken aback, and I was like, oh, what? He's like, that sound reminds me of my dad.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, dang, that's crazy.
How long has that been? Yeah.
He hasn't heard that sound in forever. Like, he used to hear that sound and immediately, like, just see his dad get up to go do something because he just reminded himself to go do something with his watch.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I was like, dang, that's kind of special.
Don't
like,
you love how sounds and like smells and stuff will bring that back for you? You know,
Yeah.
because in his mind, he was, I don't know what age as a kid he was, but I mean, he was right there.
It probably was out of his like head for like he didn't even realize that sound meant anything to him.
Yeah.
And then it rang, and he was just like, it was all there. It was just like loading into his brain, like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
But you know what I think actually, you know, happened. Well, everything that you said, but I think he literally was like a time travel. It was almost back in time, and it's like so. Kids, family, troubles, home, payments, all this stuff is just out the window, and it's like he's just right where he was for a split second, which is just awesome, you know.
Yeah.
And especially if you have a good relationship with your dad, and it's not like there's the bell, you better be finished with cleaning your room or the dishes or something, you know.
Something traumatic.
Yeah. I had it today. We went to a Christmas tree lot to look for Christmas trees, and when I walked in, it was like, I guess it happens most years, and I kind of forget about it, but I smell like that Douglas fir or something, you know, that smell.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, wow, it was like being a kid. Like when I'm there, it's like 12 or 13 or younger, and you smell that in your house, and it's like, I don't know. And it was like, it's like I forgot about everything that I was doing, everything that's been going on for the past like 20 years. And I'm like, you know, it kind of takes your breath away for a second. You're like, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
You know?
That's it.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I grew up with fake Christmas trees.
Yeah.
And it's not the smell for me. It's the prickly feeling of having to spread these goddamn leaves to make it look real.
Yeah.
It's just like, but then
when you're setting it up.
Yeah, then you remember like all the times that you set it up with like your mom or your dad, and maybe you necessarily didn't want to do it at the time.
Yeah.
But now you're kind of like, or for me, I was doing it by myself, and I'm like, where the fuck is everybody? Like, why am I doing this by myself?
You're the one
like,
that brought the Christmas cheer, huh?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but like, yeah, we had one that was like almost the same age as my brother.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's like, it was for a while. And then we finally decided to retire it and, you know, take it up to a nice farm so it can relive the rest of its life.
A nice farm.
Just kidding. That's what you say to like dying pets.
What?
Yeah. But yeah, it was kind of sad to let go of that tree. It was in the same shitty box for a while. And then one year my parents got a new tree, and I was like, who is this?
Yeah.
Who is this tree?
This isn't the member
It's
of my
wearing
family
all
that I've
the
known.
clothes of the old tree, like the cheesy bell thing that would play noise. Like that sound kind of reminds me of childhood.
Well, you have yours up here, and your son's going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah, I think my plan is I'm gonna go Christmas decorating shopping with him, and
Cool.
I'm just gonna let him pick. Hopefully not the expensive lights or anything.
How would you feel about getting like a small one? Sometimes they have a little 3 foot like a real one.
Oh, those Charlie Browns?
Yeah, like get one sneaking around here. So it's just like, he might smell that and remember that.
Oh, a real one.
Just a little one.
Yeah,
like a
maybe.
You
table.
could get like a garland.
Yeah.
A garland.
You get the same smell.
I thought you were saying like get a little fake tree. I was like, what's the point of that?
no, like a real one. Or I guess you could do a garland. But Elijah's never been to a Christmas tree lot before,
You're lying.
right? Yeah.
No, I had.
What do you do in the Dakotas of the South?
We always had a fake tree for Christmas. Yeah.
When I think of South Dakota, I think of nature and
Oh no,
stuff
man!
like that.
So,
No, there's no nature over there.
well, the
there's
part of
nature.
South Dakota I live in is flat grassland. It's just farms all around you.
As far as the eye can see.
Yeah.
All grassland
No
and
like
corn.
forests or hills or anything like that.
What?
No, if
Yeah.
you go to like the western side of the state, yeah, there's definitely like the Badlands, bunch of like pine forests, but not where I'm from.
So you'd never been in the lot before. And
So
actually,
you're fake tree gang.
I am fake tree gay.
Gang. That's what's up. Yeah. So you know that prickly feeling.
Oh
of
yeah,
like,
and we'd always have to like
so
vacuum after you set up the tree because there's like pine needles everywhere.
It's like these fake pine needles. What the fuck is this? That's so funny.
yeah.
Yeah, no, maybe I'll get a fake, like not a fake one, a real tiny one.
If you did, because you could take them, there's like a lot up the street, and like,
Yeah, I've
it's
seen
kind of
that.
cool when they have like hot cider there and they're playing Christmas music.
They do
but-
have hot cider there?
Well, I don't know. They didn't today, which I was a little disappointed. But the neat thing is, you do walk in, they have all the cool little wreaths and the trees, and you kind of get that smell, and it's like so you either do that or you can go up to like off Summit Road or Half Moon Bay and go to
there's
an
some
actual
nice
Christmas
ones.
tree
Yeah.
lot and then just get a small one. And then you can actually go to that would be neat because then you'd be up in the hillside where they actually kind of grow them. This beautiful view that overlooks the water in some places, and you're getting a tree, and it's a fun thing for the sun,
Yeah. Get in that traffic.
Well, you just have to time it right. They're open all week,
Yeah. That sounds like a good idea.
No, it's kind
I
of
actually
fun to
don't
get some
know.
pictures.
I actually don't know what to do. I don't know the kid things to do anymore.
I would definitely do that. You want to get some
Yeah.
pictures with you doing that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
just like
Yeah.
check out my tree.
Yeah.
Very cool. Nice.
You could put them on top, just hold it at the top of it. Be like a little koala bear. You could be a little angel hanging on the top.
I
He's
haven't
big now, though.
Do you see the top of this tree?
Yeah.
It's still bent.
Yeah.
Like I haven't gotten a stupid.
Is that just to fit in here, or?
No, I just haven't gotten up there yet. Like, I set up the tree and I was like,
There's no room for an angel or a star up there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm kind of slightly disappointed about, and this is sorry to hog the spotlight. But
No.
those trees over there. We have these big redwood trees.
Yes.
I always wanted to get like a big lit up star, like a 5,
just climb up
6
there?
foot. We'll get somebody like Kylie, your friend.
Kylie
to
will
climb up
totally do
there,
it.
Run some extension cords
Yeah.
because there is no other tree like in this area or in Mountain View or anywhere that's like. What's the highest star on a Christmas tree in this area? I mean, we have a lit up tree in the square there, but
Is this the highest tree?
no, but I'm just saying there's no other star that's up there that's all lit up. Everybody
Hmm.
from all around Mountain View would probably see that tree with the big star up on top.
Yeah.
And I don't know, if you want to do shock and all, like something really cool, that'd be kind of fun,
Again, I'm not an adventurous person. Right.
Well, that's why I'm not climbing it.
I would facilitate this and make the calls for somebody to do it.
Yeah.
I could provide a star maybe,
Yeah.
but
if
yeah,
we
that
could
would be
find a
cool.
star, we can find the climber, and I'll get some extension cords. I think it'd be
How are we
sweet.
gonna get up there? Just like,
That's
rope?
That's for like Kylie or
That's for
someone else
Kylie
to
to-
figure out,
all right, Kylie, if you're
I mean, I
watching
could
this,
climb a tree, but it's like, get somebody that knows how to do it.
Kylie's such a crazy person. Like he has trees that he goes to like, I don't know, somewhere down south of us,
Yeah.
some remote place. One time I was just driving a random one-way road and I'm like, I know that Defender. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, I thought that
What's-
was 84 or something.
what's
like,
Kylie doing
Going
here?
over towards the coast.
Yeah, I don't know where, but we were fucking there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Kylie. And he's like, who is it? Like, it's Dave.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, let me get down from this tree.
Yeah. But you guys built like a tree house or something.
They
or
did.
like a
it.
portable
I
tree
take
house.
no credit. Like
Yeah. Did you go?
They did not build a treehouse. They have like netting and like hammocks that they set up, but they have all these like cable systems to where you can't die and fall. But I'm just like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Like I like life. I don't like to die.
Not into taking risks right now.
It's
either.
like I could sleep on a bed in regular elevation. Why would I want to do it in a tree?
It looks neat. And there's some places where they actually have like full on tree houses. Like there's this other podcast where this guy was down in the Amazon. He was talking about that they had built like a actual tree house that was up in the canopy that could see over everything. And it was just, I think it was like one of those things was like a destination Airbnb thing to kind of raise awareness for like conservation of forests and stuff. But I would do that. I mean, because there's an actual house up there, you know.
Whoa. Yeah. Yeah.
And so you're up here at the top of the canopy. You can see everything.
Yeah. No, I totally would do that, but this didn't have a floor. It wasn't like Endor and the Ewoks.
I saw pictures like it was like a.
Yeah, I would do Endor and Ewoks.
Yeah, for
like,
sure. That'd be awesome.
Live?
I'd probably live there for a certain time of the year.
I don't want to do like
Talk about getting away. Yeah.
Right. I don't want to do like a Chuck E. Cheese like net play area where you're just like sometimes your hands go through.
Yeah.
And I think the lack of escape, like if I really were to think about it, like if I wanted to leave, it would not be easy.
Takes a while to get down.
It would take a while, or like really fast to get down. Like, yeah, I don't know. Is that claustrophobia?
I think it's just having a
what is
situational awareness, and if you have to get out of some place quick,
just gotta go. Just gotta get out.
You're stuck.
Hey, we gotta go.
There's a fire.
Gotta
coming,
get out.
You know.
Yeah, let's get out. Yeah. How about you? Are you a tree person?
I would definitely live in a treehouse. Yeah,
you would.
It'd be fun.
What about just like the net, like I described? Would you do it?
Maybe. I mean, if the netting is like,
I mean, nobody's died yet.
I'm not gonna like fall through it. That's fine.
It's safe enough to like there have been no reported deaths.
Okay. Yeah. Then sure, I'd definitely do it. Then.
Yeah. Cool. All right, Kiely, you hear that? You got two people.
Yeah. You have to have like kind of a full bathroom, right? There's got to be like a, you know.
Great question. Yeah. How do they bathroom?
I don't know. It's like you have to Swiss Family Robinson it, you know.
Oh, I think they just like find the edge of a tree.
Really? And that's it. There's like
they just like,
dig a hole down like a couple 100 feet down.
I don't know. That is a great question.
Yeah.
Excuse me, how to shit? Yeah.
Hit the bullseye.
Pretty sure my butthole would be so tight it wouldn't even want to.
I'd be pretty scared.
Just be like,
my lips would be quivering.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't done a public doo-doo.
Oh, that's right.
In a while.
I forgot. You don't do that, do you?
I think it's a subconscious thing. I don't have to go. My body's like, nope, not out here, dude. You're going to wait till you get home. It's going to be nice.
I used to be that way. I had to, at some point, like.
Do you public doo-doo?
I do, but I build like a little nest on any toilet I go to. So there's going to be two of those little pull-out things. There's going to be toilet paper, like in a circular fashion. And then sometimes I squat just for safe measure.
Oh my God. Just like an aura of protection. Well, you're not even touching it. It's just like, I just want it to be there.
Well, the problem is they're not like those elongated like bowls. They're short little ones. So like when you're on there, you're
a pretty long person.
You're gonna be. I am long. You'll be hanging on it. Parts of you are gonna be touching it. It's not really fun. No, I had
I just imagine like I told you like Jim Carrey from The Mask.
Yeah,
when he's in jail. Oh my God.
I had a friend and he was one of my instructors. And I remember, I forget, we were at the flight school or something, and he was getting all jittery about going. He's like, I got to go home. I'm like, what's your deal? I'm like, oh, just hang out for just a minute. Let's finish this up. And he's like, well, I have to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, oh, you're one of those guys that doesn't like to go to the bathroom. And then he's like, no. And I was like, oh.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I will go.
Yeah.
If nature calls.
Oh yeah.
But
nature doesn't call, does it?
Yeah, it's on do not disturb like it should be, unlike my phone earlier. But yeah, I just never found myself in that predicament.
Lucky man.
Lately.
Oh, lately. Yeah.
I will tell you this.
Uh-oh.
I've got a doo-doo story. What are we doing on time, by the way?
Oh man, I don't even know how to check.
So
it's 8:49 right now.
On the next to the record button, there should be like a run time or something. There's no numbers.
There are no numbers.
Okay. How are we doing on battery? We're good.
76%.
Great. Okay.
This would be our midnight edition.
So,
is it just a long story or
no? I don't want to end it on a doo-doo story.
No, yeah, that's true.
Yes. So as a kid, it was like a holiday. It was a party somewhere in a restaurant. Never been. And for some reason, my mom decided to put me in overalls because I was that young.
Okay.
Young enough to be wearing overalls.
All right.
And it was a buffet.
Oh, food.
So food.
Yeah.
It was not at home.
Yeah.
There was so
All
many
you can
people. All you can eat.
You're wearing a one-piece outfit.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a freaking overalls, and I shit you not, literally. I ate so much food.
Yeah.
Because it was so good. But I don't even remember what kind of food it was. I think I just blocked it out of my memory. I couldn't get out of my overalls in time.
Oh, really?
It was such an emergency.
Wow.
I was like, where's the bathroom?
Yeah, it was.
As a kid. And I didn't want to like freak anybody out because like, you know, my parents are having a good time with their friends. And I'm just like, you know, like a little kid running around. I finally found the restroom. And like, as I locked the door, I'm like, yeah, you know, like, imagine you're a kid.
Yeah, it's the first time you're in
If
these
you're
overalls.
wearing overalls, somebody put you in the overalls.
Yeah, or at least have a little patch in the back with some buttons, you know?
Nah, I wasn't that old, but I'm a kid. I don't know how to take off overalls.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, legit. I take one off and then like, oh, by the way, there's buttons on the side of overalls.
Ah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I try to take those off. And then I end up shitting my fucking underwear.
Oh my God.
Like,
how old were you? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
You're like, he was 15.
I want to say like, I want to say 8 maybe.
Yeah.
Dude, like.
What an uncomfortable feeling as a kid, you know? You think of like the worst you ever felt as a kid. It's usually something like that.
I'm going to ask my parents next time they're on this podcast. I'm like, do you remember me shitting my pants?
What did you do though? Because your parents weren't in there, right? Or
Dude,
were they?
They weren't. I just was missing for the entire party because I couldn't leave.
So you stayed in the stall?
I shit my pants.
You stayed in the stall?
It wasn't a stall. It was a 1-person bathroom.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So at one point, I didn't know what to do. I sat in there and just like fucking traumatized because I shit my pants.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just remember sitting there, and at one point somebody was knocking, and they're like, "Busy," you know? Like, I'm in here. I didn't have like. I was so embarrassed, like, and a little bit scared because you know my parents were strict, and somebody like found my parents because they figured out who is that, and then they probably were like, oh, "It's been a while. Where's Dave? Like, I haven't seen David in a while."
Yeah,
and my mom ended up coming in and like pretty much helping me out. I was like, "Sorry." It was so embarrassing, dude.
What'd she do? She threw the underwear away, right?
Oh, we threw the underwear.
She was like, the underwear,
away.
that's gone.
Yeah.
Here's get a bunch of toilet paper, you know.
Dude, it was so much shit that it went past the underwear, obviously, and a little bit on the pants. But it, like, thankfully, my mom was like, "Oh, it's not so bad." Like, she was able to like scrape away most of the like, you know, whatever was like actual.
She did the mom thing.
Solid shit.
She got it,
because a lot of it was swaffed. Sorry, but yeah, she did the mom thing and washed a lot of it away, and then I was free balling.
Yeah, the first time ever. Yeah.
Free balling overalls for the first and last time.
Well, maybe that's what you'll get for Christmas this year. Maybe you get a package to get some overalls.
I don't think I've worn overalls since.
Oh,
although I do want to wear overalls, I don't do anything that
brings back that
justifies wearing overalls.
Well, you could go Christmas tree hunting this weekend, be up in the mountains, you know. Get them overalls on.
Yeah. If I was like a painter or like a woodworker or like something that could like dirty up my hands, I guess I could wear overalls with all these plants. I'm like, oh, these are my planting overalls.
I think they're kind of cool just because I never seen anybody wearing them.
Overalls?
Around here, you know.
Be that guy.
Yeah.
I'll be that guy.
Why not? I mean,
I'll be that guy. Cool. Well, yeah. Sorry for the shitty story.
No, it's okay. Yeah, I think we've all got one. I don't remember what mine is, so.
One time I was a baby and I was a goo goo gaga.
Yeah, it happened.
Dang. What about you, Elijah? Any close calls? Any squeezers?
None I'd care to
Are
share.
you one of those girls that don't shit?
Yep.
Okay.
The new model.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's right. That's
the new model.
What about yesterday? Man. Like waiting for that last podcast and being a spectator, you know? Remember you sitting there thinking like it was getting
Did you have to go?
It was getting time.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was definitely getting time.
Dang.
Time's up.
Dang. Yeah, I was looking at the time. I was like, damn, 2 hours.
Yeah, it was good.
I was looking at everybody, and everybody just seemed to still be talking. especially men.
Yep.
But Armand was like, yeah, what time is it? Like, yes, it's like over 2 hours. So, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it
Fun
was
times.
good. You know, I was impressed because I never thought about you having to be over there, like switching camera views and trying to keep the conversation fluid or
How
participate.
are you liking it, Elijah?
That was pretty easy.
Yeah.
Though I am definitely concerned this is not recording.
It is recording.
Are you sure?
I'm 100%.
Okay.
This light's red, so I mean that's
Yeah. Yeah, the lights are
Cool.
red. That's a good sign. But yeah, is
Wouldn't
this your
that
first time
be
cutting
crazy?
anything? Or you've edited before?
I've edited before.
Ooh, what did you edit?
I mean, I used to be in tech crew in high school for theater.
What? That's
Yeah.
sick. That's awesome.
tech crew, huh?
Yeah, I know tech crew because I was in theater.
Nice.
And I was like, if I wasn't freaking doing this, I'd want to do that because they have the headphones. They're like rushing people on and off stage.
Yeah, we're rolling in 10, you know. The
Yeah,
whole
I'm like,
thing, you know,
whatever, dude. I'm the
and that
rock
little
star.
thing there.
here.
Yeah, I say when we start.
Nice. Yeah. It's weird. I did film for like 10 years as like, you know, for a job, for exchange of services.
Right.
But yeah, I just like doing it. But like looking back, I did always have like a knack for it. Like in high school, we had like this project where we had to do. I went to Catholic school. Sorry.
Me too.
Oh, sorry. You're sorry. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I'm not sorry. I was proud of it.
Nice. Yeah, I went to Catholic school. All boys?
Nope.
Oh shit.
Co-ed.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
BBBOS.
Yeah.
Shout out Bosco.
Yeah, you guys didn't have to look at the skirts or anything, you know. No temptation.
No, only our teacher skirts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
What was
our
that like?
standards were low. Yo, if we just had a new female teacher that year, we were like, who's that?
Yeah.
Who's that elderly lady that's
Dude, she's 70. Shh, doesn't matter.
I mean, I think our cutoff was like 50.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, we had like this project where we had to do like a report about a saint. And they were like, okay, you could do like a slideshow or you could do like a video. And I was like, I'm not going to do a fucking slideshow. So I was like, let's do a video. We've never done it. And I used my dad's like tape recorder, literally, to VHS tape.
One of those big ones, you know?
Yeah.
Cool.
And I freaking, you know, we did the whole report and we did it in the style of The Matrix.
Really?
Yeah, it was weird.
For a
Like,
saint.
For
What
a saint.
saint did you choose?
I forget the saint now, but essentially this was my idea. The saint, our friend Gerald played the saint, and he was just walking down our neighborhood, kind of like with a brown, kind of like a Jedi almost.
Like Val Kilmer, the saint, or
No,
No.
just like a hooded brown figure, kind of
Yeah.
like praying, and then a car would come by, beat him up, put him in the trunk, and then just drive off. That was one scene. The next scene would be from Black, you know, and then it would be like, you know, your average table and kind of like, what do you call that?
like a card table or like a...
No, just like an interrogation scene.
Got it.
So it'd just be him. He'd be kind of like, you know, woozy from like waking up, his hands behind him like tied.
Right.
And then like somebody would come in and just like, you know, rip his hood off and just be like, we know what you're doing, Saint. Saint blah, blah, blah. And he's like, we did it in the style of The Matrix. So instead of like saying, I'm going to give you the finger and you're going to give me the phone call. We did this stupid thing. He's like, I'm going to give you the sign of the cross. And you're going to give me my phone call. And it was so fucking cheesy. I don't even know how the video ended, but God, it was just so fun to do. Like,
If
you
you
know,
could just find that video.
dude, what's fucked up is my teacher like never gave it back. And
Oh,
I
really?
told him at the end of the year, I want this back. Like, I want it.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the year, I was like, where's the tape? He goes, oh, I used it to like film something else.
What?
And it was like, you know, back in like early 2000s. So there was not a lot of like, you couldn't just copy this thing. You know?
Yeah.
Couldn't just digitize it real quick.
Oh, that's not cool.
Yeah. But it literally lives in my brain. It's like, this is the first thing I ever wanted to do creatively as like a video thing.
And it stuck too. And then you ended up doing
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff. Going on and doing... You did podcasts too back then. Or you
I did.
participated, right?
Yeah, I did. I did some behind the scenes of my teacher's podcast, Matt Gourley. Shout out Matt Gourley. he went on to do bigger and better things. But at the time, I was like, what the fuck is a podcast? Like, it was like a radio show, but nobody listens to the radio. And this was like 2008 or 9 or something like that. And so he was my teacher in film school, and it was like 3 of us, me, Tanner, and Zach. We were like top of our class. And by top of our class, I mean we just cared for no fucking reason. Like, we just loved everything about film. So Tanner was like the editor. Like, he was really good at cutting. He was really creative. He was into like niche movies, like those zombie, like creatures from the sea type stuff, like
or Stanley Kubrick or stuff like that. That's real kind of artsy.
Even weirder, campy. Like, I would describe it as campy, really crazy shit.
Right.
And the other guy was like into cinematography like me, so we kind of had like a thing. So Matt Gourley asked us to kind of help with his stuff. He saw kind of like, I guess, how into it we were. I don't know if he just saw a bunch of free help or like talented people, but I like to think it was just like free help. Like, yeah, we're down.
Enthusiasm too. Yeah. You know, it's infectious.
So yeah, we helped him with his podcast, and we're like, what do you want us to do? And he's like, oh, just film like the things that happen. I'm like, perfect. I love documentaries. Like,
he gave you that much liberty to just really?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
And he's like, oh, by the way, you might meet some famous people, so just try to stay cool. And we're like, cool. Like, what famous people? So we met like Colin Hanks, the Ratatouille guy.
Oh yeah.
What's his name?
A Ratatouille guy.
Patton Oswalt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and a couple others to mention. Ooh, Paul F. Tompkins. I didn't know who he was, but when I met him, I definitely looked him up, and I liked him enough. He was actually who is he? Paul F. Tompkins?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's not like outwardly famous, but amongst like the actors and the people that work in comedy, he is well respected. But he ended up voicing a character in BoJack Horseman.
What character?
The dog. What's his name? Mr. Buttercup?
No, Mr. Peanut Butter.
Mr. Peanut Butter. Dude, yeah.
That's amazing.
You like that show?
I love that show.
That's a great fucking show. Did you finish it all?
Yeah, I've watched it several times.
Okay. How crazy was it when it got so deep?
Man, it did really go hard though.
I was like, am I watching the same show? I'm like, yo, we took a turn into like real shit, dude.
Oh, really?
It was like, yeah.
It's
was
not
like,
a happy ending.
Is it kind of like when Barry gets
past
the
even
first
say
season?
Yeah, I mean it's fun at first, and then kind of like third or fourth, like mid, somewhere in the middle, it just like
when his like sister shows up, that's when it gets like really.
Was that the sister?
Sister/daughter.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Weird.
BoJack Horseman. I love that song.
Somebody recommended I watch
Back
that.
in the 90s. I think I did.
That's what it is.
Yeah. She probably did too.
You need to write that down again.
Dude.
Now we have 3 things now.
So yeah.
See.
He was Mr. Peanut Butter.
That's awesome.
he's so like that in real life. Like
Is
he's
he?
just a
That's
really
him?
good energy. Yeah.
That's
like
cool.
I remember Paul F. Tompkins for dressing like really nice all the time. Like it was always like the 3-piece suit.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I was like, awesome.
I thought about it tonight. I was like, should I just throw on
And he had a
3-piece
mustache and
come over
everything.
here? And he had a mustache.
Yep. See,
Hey,
mustaches.
he's ahead of the curve.
Hey.
Man.
So yeah, we met all these people, and you know, we moved him out to LA even because he wanted to move to LA. I don't even know if he still teaches. Probably not. You know, where's the time? But I started seeing him in VW commercials too.
Really?
Matt Gourley. Yeah.
What's he
I was
doing?
like, he's selling us Jettas now. This is awesome.
What do you mean he's in VW commercials?
He was in VW commercials back in the day.
Talking about him, voiceovers.
He was that guy that was like, you getting families in VWs, like nationwide VW commercials.
Cool.
Yeah. So I was like, cool, dude. Like, good to see people. And then like not long ago, I went on a road trip, and you know, podcasts were a thing, and Conan had one that I heard about, and I hadn't listened to it. I was like, let's put on Conan's podcast. And Conan starts talking. He's like, hi, I'm Conan O'Brien. We're here with Matt Gourley. And I'm like, no shit. That's tight. You're like, yeah. Like, I'm so like, whoa, that makes so much sense.
Isn't that
like,
cool? See the evolution and how like somebody stuck with it, you know, and kept following it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the first podcast that I ever helped him with, the podcast is called Super Ego.
Mm-hmm.
And it's out there. It's essentially like a comedy podcast. Like I couldn't like describe what it even was. And even when you look at the description of like what it is, it's so like over your head, like, yeah.
I'm gonna have to look it up. I kind of want to see this. We
good.
should probably after this just see if
For
we can
sure.
pull it
Like,
up.
we could look at a couple episodes.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you YouTubed it, Super Ego and Matt Gourley, you can see some of my behind the scenes camera work.
That's cool.
of the time. Yeah. It's trippy.
I don't know. I kind of always wished I kind of got into something like that because my dad did that in the 70s. Well, he didn't do podcasts, but he was into music videos and commercials and shooting album covers. And so I always heard like stories when I was a kid about all these famous people that he had met and worked with, and people like Glenn Frey, the Eagles, Clint Eastwood. I mean, and then on top of it all, like some of the sets that he worked on for doing like album covers, like I like 60s rock and roll, and I like British rock, and so I'd see all these album covers that my parents had, and my dad would be like, oh yeah, that one of Elton John there, that was shot by Ed Cariff. And there was a time, he said, on like I think Hollywood Boulevard, they had all these billboards, and it was a big deal back in the day. He said if you could get one of your album covers up there, and he said there was a time when he worked with Ed where there was 4 album covers, and I think they were all Bee Gees going across.
Bee Gees?
The Bee Gees, yeah. Yeah, totally. And it was
Fucking love the Bee Gees.
So like I heard that growing up, and I thought, man, I would like to get into photography. I would like to do that. And it didn't necessarily happen. I got into photography, but I never really went that route. But I thought, what a cool lifestyle, because
you'd need to do a lot more drugs than you do now.
My dad didn't do any.
Your dad didn't do any drugs?
No, that's why they liked him so much. See,
what a good dad.
That's how
he didn't tell you about his drug doing.
That's how he that's how like he always seemed to find a way in, and like production and sets and stuff, is because he just worked his ass off, and he's like you. He had your same humor, where he's just really funny impressions, good jokes, and just funny to be around. And coupled with like work ethic, everybody just always wanted him on their team,
Yeah.
So. And he said it was kind of rare because there's just a lot of people that would burn out because they were into drugs, and that really wasn't his thing.
Fuck yeah, dude. You want to smoke this, man?
Just need to find a balance.
Yeah. No, I mean, thanks. I appreciate the compliments there, but film industry is great.
No, that's one of the reasons I kind of like chatting with your experiences about that, because it brings that back for me.
It was so trippy when I was in it, and it was just like, is this real? Like I was like one commute away from just going all in. The hard part is at the time I had a very young daughter, and the film industry was like 15-hour days, like weeks on end, and like it's the most fun you'll ever have. But it happens in like 2 months at a time. You'll just film like a show or a movie or like whatever project, and for that moment in time, like the people you're working with, like that's your family. Like you guys all have the same goal, like whether you're makeup, costume, set, camera, lighting, like you all had that one goal, was like, we're gonna make this the best thing we can. Everybody's baby.
Yep.
The only problem is I had my own baby at home, and the 15-hour days was kind of like tough.
Shoot.
And I kind of like thought, okay, I need to spend more time with my kid. Like I can't, this is for me is unsustainable, spending more time with an on-set family than your own. So I was like, okay, I'm going to
bring the baby to the set.
Yeah, I wish.
Can you imagine that?
Right.
That wouldn't work.
And the other thing was I'd have to move to LA because that commute.
Whew, what was the commute?
Man, like I lived in Long Beach, Lakewood.
Yeah.
You'd have to like be in freaking Culver City or like Sherman Oaks, and just 5 a.m., which means I have to leave at 4.
Yep.
And over there, like, you could be living in those cities and just like, hey, I'm here.
Sure, just show up,
Easy.
And if you didn't have a kid, you're just stuck between two worlds,
Yeah. So I still like to do film, so I was just like, I'm going to try to find it like a 9 to 5, like a hard cutoff.
Sure.
And yeah, I ended up transitioning into something else that was really random.
Yeah.
Dance competitions.
Yeah, but I forgot about that. Yeah.
That was random. Thanks, Natalie. If you're watching this, but yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And now this is kind of fun, because this actually, I can see like when you were setting all the stuff up the other day, you're just like, yeah, I don't know if it goes this. How do you like this camera angle? What about this? And you're just like, hold on, let me look. Okay, this is right. This lighting needs to be here. And you can tell you just loved it. It kind of wakes up that part of your brain. It's that creative part.
It's kind of fun because it's like a little it's like, I don't want to eat the whole burger.
Sure.
You know, like I'll have a slider. This podcast.
That's not the Dave I know. You eat the whole burger.
Yeah, but well, what's already on my plate? Like, I can get this much of the slider.
Yep.
You know, you have the feeling of working with people, doing something that is live, but not necessarily heavy editing.
Sure.
And it's still fun, and it kind of like satiates that, like, talking about stories, which is essentially film. Like you're creating stories, or you're telling a story. And especially the stuff that I like to do is like documentaries, and this is kind of like a documentary when you think about it. We're just
for sure
talking about whatever we're doing in a single place and time.
Most people don't always get a chance to kind of share the stories that they like. You know, they get stuck in groups, and they either never get the spotlight, or they're too timid to say something. So you have people over, and it's like they can just.
Or maybe some people don't even want to do this, but
oh, really? Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I'm delayed for a long time. It's like, oh no, the time's not right. And you're like, oh, you're one of those type. You're like a celebrity. I'm like, no, it's just, I don't usually talk about the things I'm into with everybody.
Yeah. I'm more of like I'm very interested in the people that I know, and I kind of want to find a way to not necessarily spotlight them, but commemorate it. Because, you know, in a couple of years, we could look back at this and just be like, that's who we were. And let's say in 5 years, like, we're doing something completely different. And just want to do this and kind of share, you know, everybody's stories or like happenings. Because like sometimes I'll see my friends doing stuff like, and I don't really talk to them, but I'll be like, I'll be happy for them in a distance.
Right.
And I feel like, you know, if maybe that could happen to this, or maybe, you know, some people that you don't have the time to talk to, and in a very vague, far reaching way, they can see this and just be like, all right, Patrick's all right. Cool.
Yeah, that's kind of funny because I don't put anything else out about myself online at all. So like if I go online and look at stuff, it says nothing about flying, really nothing since like maybe college.
Right.
You know?
You have a cat on your Instagram, and that's about it.
That's it. Yeah, and then I have like it's not even my name.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Well,
PJ.
I don't want to put you out there, but
yeah.
Also everything on the internet's fake anyway. Like even the shit that I post could be fake. Like, you don't know.
Well, somebody else might know, but that's I guess that's the part where I kind of like it so much because I know you and I know the people most of the people that are involved.
It's just crazy that's the world we live in. We kind of pick and choose what we want to show people.
Sure.
But I kind of is why I like this, because I mean, we are who we are, and we are here talking to each other. Although I could probably talk to somebody completely different, like from my childhood. I'll have a different inflection. But I think for like a standard base, like the people I talk to is I am who I am, and you are who you are, and
sure,
there's no really hiding that.
And I just like the fact that it's it goes back to one of the cool things about photography that I was always taught when I was a kid. This obviously isn't photography, but the neat thing about that was there was no other way to capture a moment in time, you know. And this, not only it's like a good photograph, it's better because now you're actually getting stories. You're seeing where they're at, where this person's at in their life at this moment, how they think, how they interact with others, how they laugh, how they, you know, just how they lock eyes or don't. Or me, a lot of times when I talk, I might be kind of looking down, so you think, oh yeah, I remember that was you know, exactly, that's how I acted then.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's interesting. It's just, this is who we are in this moment in time. It's a moving picture, right?
Sure.
But we'll probably do this in
This is one version of ourselves right now. You know, there's another, like,
this is the podcast
in the multi version.
Yeah.
You know, multiverse. There's another.
We're probably movie stars in another one.
Could be, you know.
Yeah. But back in the day, I used to treat Facebook as like my diary for some reason, like a dumb kid.
Well, everybody did.
It was like every day. I'm just like, who's hungry?
Yeah.
And then it's like 12 years ago, I said, who's hungry? And then you'll look at like,
you get those,
5 comments.
Yeah.
It's like, I am. And it, like, people really talk to each other like, through that social media.
Yeah.
Now it's just like overrun by like, you know, parents and just like, a lot of spam.
Yeah. A lot of spam.
Yeah.
And advertisements.
But
videos.
I will say, I do appreciate that at the time I was dumb enough to do it and say what was on my mind, as stupid as it was. I was like, who's hungry or who wants to hang out?
Well, at least that's the stupidest thing you said, because other things could come back 12 years later. And oh my God, why did I say that?
Yeah, no, I don't do any of that stuff. But yeah, that was interesting, and I kind of look back at that and I think, what if I could do that now, but like involve more people, like people that I like, people that I care about.
You kind of do it on your own terms too. This is your format, and it's in your place. And
I mean, it could be anywhere. Like I kind of have this whole setup that I could travel with it because I do.
But you're not you're not necessarily on Facebook or something, or leveraging someone else's platform. I mean, you can take this and put it anywhere.
Anywhere. It could be on Facebook. It could be it's mainly on YouTube. But yeah, essentially I would just want to travel around to whoever wants to do it, and kind of that be another reason to travel.
Get that Eurovan,
Get the Eurovan.
Get that Pelican case, get everything loaded up,
Gotta
I could fly to you, but I'm going to road trip and I'm going to document the wealth. You can find some random people on the way.
I think it's too heavy too to put on a plane. We might die.
Throw off the center of gravity. The weight and balance is off. Your Pelican case, it's got to go to the back.
Dang, what time is it now? I think it's time.
I think it is time, isn't it?
Yeah. Speaking of time, let's talk about that little watch you got there. I just noticed it right now.
I'm always pulling it, trying to.
I was like, you wore the special watch today.
Yeah. No,
tell us a little tiddly bitty about that thing.
Okay, what do we got? Like 2 minutes?
Sure.
Okay, half hour. Here we go. So in the beginning, now, when I was a kid, my grandfather had like this watch. It was called a bubble back Rolex, and it was like I think it was either from the 50s or something like that. And it was like a stainless steel one. I think a stainless steel case, and they're a little smaller dial. And I thought it was cool. All my uncles really loved it, and my dad liked it as well. He thought it was a neat watch. It was cool, and it was my grandfather's watch. And I just remember like somewhere down the line when I came around, I was asking about it. Another one of my cousins said, "Oh yeah," he's like, "Yeah, that's still around. This uncle has it." And he's like, "That's mine though. I'm calling it." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." I mean, older cousin, and there was a lot of siblings, and it wasn't like I was super connected or anything.
You could fight him for it.
Yeah, well, no, we wouldn't fight it or anything. If in fact, if he heard this now, he'd be like, and he'd say, "Oh, you can have it." I mean, he's actually kind of a sharing guy. Yeah, but at any rate, one of the things that I liked is when I was a kid, my dad did tell me, it's like, hey, because I don't know what we were talking about at the time. He's like, if there's ever anything that you want, like in life, you don't have to like lust after it. Or if I have something or someone else's, like one of the best things you can do is they make more of it. Just go get one, go make it happen, And it was like, yeah, that's kind of cool. Don't be beholden to somebody else's thing. If there's something that you want, you have power, go out and get it. So when I came out to California and I've been working for a while, I thought about that watch and I'm like, well, obviously that watch isn't going to go to me. So I started looking for one and looking around and shopping, and I found this one, and I was like, oh, I like it. This is cool. This is kind of the style I like. And the nice thing is that nobody knows really what it is anymore. My generation doesn't know what it is. I can wear it anywhere, and nobody. There was only one time it was ever recognized, and it was like at the time it was like the mayor of Palo Alto. I was at some sort of function, and she came over and she's
the mayor of Palo Alto.
Yeah, she came over. She was at like a junior league meeting that I went to. And at any rate, she came over and she's like, I really like your watch. You don't really see that. And I was like, who are you? I mean, nobody spots this stuff. But I think what I kind of liked about it is it wasn't necessarily my grandfather's, but my dad was right. I looked at it and I said, no, I like this one even better. This is my watch. I went out and find it. There's a whole story behind it, and there's
a reason.
Yeah.
There's an adventure.
Yeah.
There's the hunt.
Yeah, there's the hunt, and you find something, and you realize.
Let's get a close up of that, man.
How do you do a close up on this thing?
Camera right there. The camera.
Do I just like hold it up?
Do a little wrist roll. Oh, do.
Like that.
Nice.
Does that pop up at all?
What size is that thing?
It's I believe the face. The dial.
Oh.
You caught me. It's 32 millimeters, so it's really kind of a smaller watch. And I never liked big watches. I always liked
32.
Yeah, it's small. I mean, I think the ideal size for me would probably be like a 38 or something. But I just like the fact that it's kind of like you look at it, you smile, you like what it, you see it,
and it represents something. It represents your finding success and being in a place
without putting it out in front of everybody, like you got some massive
you see this is the Pepsi, bitch.
Yeah, Pepsi, which they're cool, by the way, but
they are cool,
but you don't feel like you're like flashing a neon sign at somebody where you go like, let me show you something here, look at this. And
I think at some point too, like on my early watch gettings, like it was all Submariners, it was all dive watches.
Well, they're cool. I mean, they're really neat, you know.
Like I don't have a Rolex yet, but before, like I could get one, but I'm like, it won't.
I mean, you're into watches.
It won't mean anything to me right now. But you know, I have a couple watches that are kind of like that kind of check some boxes. Like, cool, I have that one. Like some of them are like, I put it on. I'm like, this just isn't me anymore. It's just kind of weird that happens. And even today, I'm like, I'm wearing a swatch.
Yeah, but it's cool. Look at it.
This thing was like, I think $60. And I love the simplicity of it. It's just like, it looks like a thing that you could find on a wall, hanging on a wall. Totally. But it's on your wrist. And it's just like nothing fancy.
Is it a mechanical movement?
No, it's quartz. Yeah.
Oh,
it's just easy.
Knocking the quartz, yeah.
But the only thing I hate is like it ticks. Like you could probably hear it.
No, I like that. That's a good thing. Ticking is cool.
You can hear that.
You want to hear the movement. I mean, that's kind of the neat thing about old mechanical movement. The wind up, you hear it go.
Oh, the wind up, but like the actual moving of the hands, you can hear.
Well, I don't know. So you hear the hands, but not the movement.
Yeah, there's like just ticking around, but
yeah,
it's fun.
No,
kind of. It's not a conversational piece either. I don't want to wear a watch and just people ask me about it. But like, I know you and I know that watch, so
you don't want to do just what you just did right there. Yeah,
yeah.
No, but you kind of know the story, and I told you about it before. It's kind of neat, and in my family, they always just had like quartz watches, and that's kind of all I had growing up. If I even wore a watch, you know.
Yeah, honest, I'm not gonna lie. If I meet a person and they have a pretty cool watch, you know, I'll be like, nice watch. Like you're kind of like in my head as a cooler person than you were.
Well, somebody that you're more akin to, or you have more kindred spirit. It's like, oh, you're into this too. Let's talk about that. What's special about that to you, and what what got you into this? You know.
I mean, it doesn't have to be like a nice watch. It could be like, you know, a watch, but it has to have a meaning to them.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, that's cool. Like, just don't wear a fossil just to wear a fossil. Like, although I've seen some fossils that look like Cartiers right now, and I'm just like, that's kind of cool.
My dad gave me a watch one time as a kid. It was like a little blue watch, and it was a wind up, and it looked like a swatch, and the hands were like, believe it or not, it was like, I think they were like blue and green, but they were like scissors. I don't know if it was like a
scissors.
Yeah, like opening, you know, like opening and closing.
That's cool.
It was super neat. I mean, you'd have to see it, and I don't know what the hell happened to it, but I would have loved to have had that back. I would be wearing that tonight. Yeah, because I still have my dad's watch. He had like an old Tag Heuer, right?
Tag Heuer. I don't even know.
Yeah, well, he had one, and he actually traded a Seiko one that his father gave him when he was a kid for that watch back in like the early 90s. It was, and at any rate, I occasionally wear that just because when I was in flight school, I wanted to make sure, because my dad always wanted me to be a pilot or get into it at some point.
Oh, so that was a dad's wish for you too.
Yeah, so when I was out flying the pattern and learning how to fly the pattern, I would occasionally, you know, if you look down, I'd see my dad's wristwatch and be like, it's kind of like he's on board with me. You know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's cool. Well,
neat stuff.
I like that we both appreciate like items and things that remind us of people and times.
Yeah.
Like I feel like
it's more than just the material.
It's more than just the iPhone, iWatch.
Yeah.
I know the weather. Yeah. But I don't know. I've never had a smartwatch like an iWatch. Is that what they're called? iWatches? Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if it's
Apple Watch. Sorry, iWatch. Like what the fuck? Apple Watch.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. When I'm off work, I don't want to take home emails and all that stuff with me. I have a computer for that. I actually want to have. It's like retiring to an 18th century lifestyle, except you got a wristwatch. It's just like the cool mechanical movement. And there was a funny, cool scene from like. Did you ever see the movie Easy Rider? Peter Fonda and Dennis Hopper. Well, there's a classic scene in the very beginning where they do some deal. They ride these motorcycles. It's back in the 70s, and they're the low riders. And Peter Fonda's got these cool glasses on, and right in the beginning, they do some deal that makes them some money, and they're in the middle of nowhere, and Peter Fonda kind of like, he like looks at his bike and looks at Dennis Hopper, and the next thing you see the watch come off, and it throws it on the ground. Like, now, we like watches and all, but it symbolized like, hey, time doesn't matter now. We're going to enjoy life, you know?
Okay.
So I think about that. If I had an Apple Watch, you know, I probably wouldn't throw it in the ground because it's worth something.
I mean, there's so many versions of it. Who cares?
Yeah. But anyhow, it's that same sort of thing, you know, make life matter.
Yeah. Cool. Dang. Yeah, make life matter. Make life matter again.
Hey, that could be like that could be some sort of tagline, right?
I'd buy that shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing your time with us.
Thank you for
Patrick,
having me. For the second time.
For the second time.
Probably third time because I was in the peanut gallery before.
I mean, how many times are we going to talk about, you know, we already know.
You need to just do hidden cameras now so you can capture like when you're watching movies.
That's creepy. Actually, I left the job because my boss did that.
Oh, really?
Shout out Jimmy Haywood, you piece of shit. Fucking put cameras in the office thinking we wouldn't see it with audio.
Ooh.
Still fuck you for that one. But yeah. Thank you for joining us, Patrick, and sharing some stories in probably like a couple more years. I'm sure you'll acquire more stories to tell, and we'll do this again.
Totally. Yeah. Thanks for having me, and thanks for sharing yours too. It's always fun hearing some of your background. A lot of times you're doing the interview.
I forget that I am a person and I come from somewhere. I just lived vicariously through people.
Well,
yeah.
This was fun.
Alrighty. Cut it. You don't know how to cut it.
She said it's never been rolling. It never started.
It's okay. Here I come.
The joke's on us.
I hope not.
Damn it, that's twice.